Welcome to the 1996 Grand Final at Hands Oval between combatants Mines Rovers and Busselton. Mines Rovers minor premiers. Busselton finished second. We've got Paul Barnard from Essendon, ex-Kerry Park star, tossing the coin. And the toss has been won by Brett Milner, kicking to the Halsey Street end of the ground. Terrific crowd in attendance at Hands Oval today, and what is probably a day that is too good for football. Very attractive to be down the beach today, but we're at the football, we're at the grand final, which is at one day in September. Normally we've got the one day in October. Down here in the southwest, we've always got to be different. Mines Rovers team in a huddle. Mark Antonovich on the outside there, issuing some instructions with Mummy leaning in from the back. Spilsbury would be bound to take a screamer or two today, I would imagine. The weather is tailor-made for him, and he's a very strong mark overhead, especially for his side. Busselton in similar situation. Rat Race sitting on the outside there, just getting into the group. And I can imagine they'll be fired up after their exit from the 1995 finals last year. They've got a point to prove that they're not out of the race in finals football. Right, we're all in readiness for the bounce down. Neil Darby, the umpire in the middle of the ground, who will take first control. Mark Warren's his offsider in. Two very good umpires in the southwest, contrary to what some people in the outside think. Just looking around the ground, Mackay coming off with Vaughan Carter. That's a surprise. I thought Mackay a sharpshooter and Nicholson a defensive player, a tagger. I thought he would have been out there for the start of the game. I didn't see Mines Rovers go to the bench. I can't tell you who's there. Gary King playing on a wing, obviously. Fontana in the middle against Todd Haley. Great duel there. I take it Miller's probably got Broadbent in defence. He has. Broadbent down at full forward. Jock Embry in the back pocket there, where he's been known to run off and create havoc from that back pocket. Here we are, bounce down for 1996. The ball goes into the turf. It's an even break, probably a Fontana's way. Brett Milner knocks it forward towards their attacking side. Marley's in control of the ball, out on his left foot, out towards the wing, straight to a nest of Busselton players, and Lapidi takes a mark on his chest quite comfortably. Tuvey calling for it over on towards the other wing. It's a high ball, not to his advantage. It's knocked forward by Maxwell where it comes off his feet. Tuvey gathers a bouncing ball onto his left foot. It's a scrubbly old kick out towards the left half forward flank. Griffiths is in pursuit. He's got it there. He's been tackled by Bebbington. I thought he put it to the ground. It's knocked forward by Griffiths into towards Mines Rovers. I can't pick up that player at the present time. It's one of the Marleys. He's handball over to one of the others, and they're out of trouble indefinitely, but only to see an ex-Hayward medalist take the mark in Blair Carter. It's an awful kick by Carter. He's not renowned for his kicking. It bounces through towards Brad Barrett. He gathers and onto the boot. Out towards Rat Ray and Sherwood. They're manning up by the look of it. Carter's going to have another tilt. He's on his left this time. It's a better looking kick. Out towards Tuvey, who's going to take this one, and he'll go back and take a breather and have a look what's in attack for his side. Tuvey moves on, goes towards centre half forward, and Griffiths is the attacker. He's got one behind the ear roll from Bebbington, but that won't worry him. He's thinking about playing on. No, he's not going to. He's only 40 metres out. Maybe he'll kick from 45, and he's just about directly in front, kicking to the Halsey Street end of the ground. Well, George, it's a fairly tame opening at this stage of the game. Nothing that we anticipated that could have happened.
Yeah, contrary to reports, Ray, I would have thought it might have been a little bit fiery, but then again, there might be just enough over the next few minutes to indicate one way or the other. Busselton off with a good start.
No. Well, after Griffith's kick faded over towards the left-hand side of the post, the ball was obviously through when it was knocked down to the ground, because Cook had a snapshot that was of no value because it had already been a score. So Mines Rovers Marley, I think it is, will bring the ball into play. Straight down the middle of the ground. It's a high ball. He's got right underneath it. Griffiths is in the box seat. He nearly took it again. Went to ground, picked up by Panetta as he streaks through to the middle. Gets his boot to the ball on towards the outer wing. It's Maxwell in front for his ball. He's been let go. Spilsbury will get out of trouble here onto his left foot. He goes down towards his centre half forward, and Brockman coming across has spoilt the way for Rinder. Jason Hayden can't get the ball picked up. He can't find the handle. He's still there, being forced out by Boot. Brad Barrett, cool, calm and collected. He next it over towards Jason Marley, over towards Ramshaw. He chips it out towards the pocket, and we'll find Rinder taking the mark right on the 50-metre line. He goes forward right into that, deep into that pocket where Broadbent has taken the mark right in front of the scoreboard, which reads Busselton 1 solitary behind and the only score at the 3-minute mark of the first quarter in 1996 grand final.
And mine's coming back too, Ray, just in time, I think.
Yes, I think you're right, George. They need to maintain their equal share of the ball as Broadbent goes for goal. It's not going to be far away. It's right in the square. Thumped by Busselton, missed all. It's come to ground. Spilsbury getting around on his left. He's hooked it around. This is going to be very close, going by the crowd behind the goals. We'll wait on it. Yes, it is. Spilsbury's got the first major of the day. Mines Rovers lead 1 goal straight, 6 points to Busselton, 1 behind. Break it up. Ball goes down to the turf in favour of Fontana. The ball comes to ground. Bevington on his left. He's come out towards the grandstand wing where the ball's going to beat everybody over the line and out of bounds for a throw-in. Right in front of the Busselton coach's box where 3 times premiership coach Terry House no doubt surveys the situation from close in. Ball's thrown into play. Haley and Fontana. Haley's in his front. He double-fisted out towards his attacking flank, but Brad Barrett sees the ball run over the ground and over the line and out of bounds for another throw-in. The ball comes in. Haley in front again. Could have got a kick, and he has, according to umpire Mark Warren. We're pushed squarely in the middle of the back. He goes back quickly and gets boot to ball. Hall's coming out. He's in it, so it's not Hall, it's Harris. But Griffiths has flown across the front of the pack, and he's going to get a 50-metre penalty. It's the second one he's caught behind the ear roll, and he will, from Bevington, umpire Warren right on the mark there. He's telling Bevington just who's in charge and what for, and he'll go right into the square, and there's no doubt we'll slam this right through the middle for the big one, first big one for the Busselton Footy Club. Umpire Warren says, no, bring it back and have another shot. I wasn't ready. I hadn't blown time on again. A little bit pedantic, I must feel, but then I suppose rules are rules, and we ask the players to abide by the rules, so I suppose the umpires have to too.
Ray, that was an interesting bit of work by Griffiths. Normally, you know, fairly hot-headed himself, but he was quite calm in the fray and ended up with the 50-metre penalty and a goal in his favour. Yes, George, that was the way he flew across the front of the pack was reminiscent of some of the good centre-half forwards. He's normally out muscling in the pack, but a great effort on that occasion. The louder the better. The ball's about to be put down by umpire Darby right in the middle of the ground after Busselton kicked that last goal. 1-1-7 to 1 straight goal. It favours Fontana. He's going to take it cleanly. Feeds it out towards Ramshaw. Stolen by Michael Carter. Onto the boot comes Griffiths in front again. There's marks being made. Aaron Marley's onto him. Back onto Michael Carter. He's going to swing onto his left foot. He chips it across towards Maxwell. He's looking around, but he takes the mark right on the 50-metre line. About 48 metres out, but he'll kick from about 52. Probably wouldn't get the distance, but he'll look around. Very congested forward line. Michael Carter calling for it. Go back and drive it long, he says. Appears to be what he's going to do. There's a little hole to lead into there if someone can get free. He kicks from 50 metres. It's going to drop short into the goal square. Someone's come over the back. It's Blair Carter. He can't mark. Comes to the pack. Fontana's in there. He feeds it out as hard as he can. He breaks the pack apart. Taken by Antonovich and feeds it through for a forced behind to Busselton. 1 goal, 2-8 lead. Mines Rovers 1 straight goal, 6. Yeah, some good work there from Mark Maxwell, Ray, at the time that it counted, and a nice kick too off the 50-metre line. Yes,
got into a dangerous situation as Mines bring it out to Marley. He goes onto his left, out towards Bevington. He needs to lift his game. It's a grand final. He gets a good pass over towards Spilsbury. Spilsbury chips it across towards centre forward where it's open. Broadbent leads into it. He'll take it on the bounce. Can't bend over far enough. Pushed in the back very softly. Picked up by Barrett. A good hand pass out to the advantage of Rinder. Rinder squares off towards the old square where we find Jason Mummy at the back. No, he hasn't taken the mark. I thought he would have nearly got it. Jason Hayden puts boot the ball from the goal square and drives it out towards the 50-metre line that goes over the line and out of bounds. I get those Marleys mixed up, the 3 of them.
Good recovery, Mines Rovers.
Ball comes in to play where we've got Broadbent and Miller. No one wins a knock. It goes knocked forward and looks like Beckett's had a haircut. That's why I didn't recognise him. As the ball goes on to somebody's boot, I missed that one. It goes over for Mines Rovers behind. So I was looking at Beckett's number, and they trail by 1 solitary point. 1-1-7 to 1-2-8. Busselton in front. Jock Embry kicks it to himself and makes some ground, has one bounce. He'll take another one and get a Shepherd. He'll pop it over the top towards Maxwell. No, he's going to kick it, and he kicks long to Haley, but it's out of his reach. Up goes Lapudi, takes a very strong mark sandwich between two Mines Rovers players. He chips forward, and he's going straight towards Jason Marley. He takes it cleanly. He chips over to the centre where Brad Barrett always roams free. He goes for the other side of the ground where Gary King, he seems to be on his own a lot in big-time football. Gets a good hand pass over to Ramshaw. Ramshaw's going to kick from 50 metres. He's looking forward and he's found Craig Rinder on his chest, and he's copped a little bit of treatment from Jock Embry, and he's been told about it, but he'll go back and have a deliberate shot at goal from about 35 metres out. Very important kick. 1 point the difference. Advantage George at this time of the game is very, very important.
Yes, I think that both sides have responded pretty well to the pressure of the day, Ray, and they've both been fairly calm considering.
Rinder drives it straight through the middle for Mine. Umpire Prowse sticks two fingers out, and that's straight shooting from Mines Rovers. They go to 2 goals, 1-13 to Busselton, 1-2-8 in what is so far a terrific game of football. Mark Warren about to put the ball down in the centre of the ground. Straight up and down it goes. Fontana's in the seat. He gets a knock over taken by Maxwell. It fumbles forward off the ground by Milner. Ricochets over to Spilsbury. A great hand pass out to King, who's always out wide. He chips over to centre half forward, and Jason Marley's going to take this one. He drops it right through the hole in the middle of the arms. He knocks forward towards Mummy. He can't gather the ball. Norkin Brockman. Marley comes back and feeds it out towards Broadbent. He can't find the handle. He's dragged in by two Busselton players, and the ball will be bounced by umpire Darby right on the half forward flank, or between half forward and centre half forward. A great golden chance by Mines Rovers gone begging there. Should have jailed that one on a day like today. Should never miss those chest marks, even though there's a lot of pressure out there in the grand final.
Quite right, Ray. Vital marking.
Darby puts the ball down. Broadbent tries to take it. Miller comes through, picks the ball off the ground. Squirted out by Swan. Over towards Marley. He fumbles again. He gets his boot to ball down towards the pocket, and Mummy nearly takes another one. Embry knocks it straight over the line and won't be penalised for that one in that tough contest, and will be brought right into play by the left-hand post for Mines Rovers. Terrific view from up here, but still in the colour of the crowd, you can still miss some of these players. That's a good excuse anyway, isn't it, George?
Yeah, well, the colours are pretty related from a distance.
The ball's then squirted out where Spilsbury has put it on to boot, but it hasn't. There's a free kick there being paid to Busselton in Brockman, and he will take it out. Which way will he go? He's looking towards the scoreboard side. The leads are coming from the opposite flank, but he goes out long towards Blair Carter. It's going to go over his head. As in fact goes the four-man in line in Gary King. He can't pick it up. He's taken without it as he put it back down on the ground after picking it up, and the ball's forced over the line and out of bounds on the half-forward flank for Mines Rovers. No ruckman in attendance. Rinder's going to get over there and have a go with Blair Carter. Marley's in there. It's a great knock by Rinder to his advantage. No one at ground level. Ratray's in the best position. He comes back onto it, feeds a hand pass over towards Jason Hayden. He quickly puts ball to boot and gets it out towards the wing where Bevington forces Michael Carter out of it. Can't take the ball cleanly. Knocks it towards Fontana's. Ball's bouncing nicely. Should give it over towards King. He does so with a chip shot that I don't think is worth 10 metres, but it's paid by the umpire, and he'll go back and settle play down right on the true position on the wing, right out wide on hands oval spaces, and that's where Gary King plays his best football in the open. He kicks long down the flank towards Swanee, who could get it, who's gone to ground. He won't get a free kick, nor will Rinder. Play the footy and play the umpire's whistle, boys. That's the way the football should be going. Let's play to the umpire's game. Over the line and out of bounds. Similar position to it was before. Spilsbury's over there going to look like taking the night. Brockman's going to come in for Busselton. Spilsbury with his leap gets it over towards Rinder. It's knocked forward by Hayden towards the boundary line. We'll have another throw in on that flank as things have cooled down a little bit from the opening, which was very, very tame for what everybody said it would be. And it's been hard, but it's been fair. Ball comes into play. Miller and Broadbent. Broadbent wins the knock. It comes down toward Hayden. He's bundled out of the way. Taken by Tuvey. A hand pass over to Milner. Milner is... it's smothered off the boot. It comes out towards Tuvey. Tuvey can't take it. Brad Barrett can with a great hand pass. Spilsbury breaks the tackle and his kick smothered. Hard football in there. In goes Barrett. He can't take him, and Beckett feeds it out to Tuvey. He's caught. Puts it down for Mine. No, he's been taken around the neck according to the umpire. I don't know. I couldn't see that one, George, but he's closer than we are.
It was a little high, Ray.
Okay, I'll accept your word for it. Great judge that you are, George.
Thank you.
Go towards Michael Carter, spoilt by Bevington, and a good spoil, the way he should have done in the first place, and the ball's forced over towards the boundary line, which is the closest, and here the boundary umpire will take that one.
Mines Rovers seem a little calmer, Ray, to me. I think that Busselton are putting a fair bit in, but Mines seem to have more use of the ball.
Yeah, you're right, George, they are. They're starting to control the last 6 or 7 minutes of this quarter, or probably 3 or 4. It takes that long, is it?
Yep.
We're at the 12-minute mark and not a lot of scoring being done, which is a fine day, you'd think so. Hand pass comes out to Maxwell. He chips over, but goes over his head, and Ramshaw with pace goes through the middle, has one bounce, has two as he moves up towards centre forward. He's going to kick from 60. He drives it into the square. Miller's in the best position here. He should have gone for the big thump, but it's knocked forward by Brett Milner as it goes over for a force behind to the Mines Rovers side to take them to a 6-point lead, 2-2-14 to 1-2-8 Busselton.
And at this stage, the point's pretty handy, just into the bargain.
They all count in the wash-up,
Yes.
especially if it gets close.
Yes, especially at this time of year.
Embry looking for all his options. His lead's going, he's just about straight down the middle of the ground, and he's going to find Puss Milner. He can't get over there in time, and it's taken by Marley. He's going to try and stage for 50. He won't get it. It probably was a tap on the head there, but I don't think it was worth 50 at this stage of the game, especially because the ball was in the vicinity. It was pretty reasonable decision, I thought. He goes onto his left foot, and it's in a dangerous position. Milner in front, Broadbent over the back, but Milner's too strong in front. He takes a mark. Didn't hold it all that long, George.
No, and Broadbent didn't really make a challenge for the ball either, I thought.
Feeds a hand pass out to Brett Milner. He's a great defender, Brett Milner, and a great leader. The ball comes over to King. He can get a hand to it in front of Blair Carter and forces the ball over the line for yet another throw-in on the half-forward flank, right half-forward flank, that is, for Mines Rovers, who have dominated the last probably 5 or 6 minutes, as we said just a minute ago. Ball comes into play. Fontana and... I didn't miss the... Oh, Haley was there. Ball comes down towards Maxwell on his left foot. This is going to be close to the line. In fact, it's out and bounds on the full. And Jason Marley will take the resultant free kick back into play.
Ray, notice a lot of the game is on the scoreboard side of the ground too, which is a little bit unusual. The wind isn't a factor from what I can see up here, but a lot of the play is on that side.
No, there's not movement, a lot of much movement in the trees. The ball comes into Broadbent. He can't take the mark. Rove beautifully by Barrett. Feeds it over towards Rinder, I think, but his kick's close to the boundary line. No, yes, it has. It hit the point post. So we'll have a throw-in the right full forward pocket for Mines.
A switch of play to both sides, or any of the two sides now, would be handy, because this side of the ground is just wide open, nobody using it at all.
That's where it's been bogged down, as George says, in the pocket as it comes in. There, Swan tries to take it at the back onto, he would have been right on his left foot. It comes out towards Barrett. He's in the thick of things all the time. He feeds it out. He's still got hold of the footy in there, and it'll be a bounce down right where he is in front of the scoreboard, which shows Mines Rovers leading 2-2-14 to 1-2-8 Busselton. And it's thrown in the air. Fontana feeds it out the back towards Sherwood. Sherwood gets it onto his kick from a ricochet from somewhere else. Jason Mummy's in front here. He can wheel onto his right foot. He should score here, and you think he has. Straight through the middle for another major to Mines Rovers to put them 3 goals to 20 to Busselton, 1 goal to 8.
Mines Rovers looking a little bit calmer this stage of the game.
Yes, George, they have a lot of control at the present time. Busselton haven't got it over their half-forward, the centre line for the last 5 or 6 minutes. Umpire Warren about to put the ball to the turf. Straight up and down again. Great bounce it is. Broadbent's on the ball with Miller. Looks like they'll follow each other all day. Comes down towards Michael Carter on his left foot. Drives into the forward line. Griffiths is in position here. He can't get to the ball where Marley forces it towards the boundary line. Brother Aaron's there. He feeds it out and throws his arm out. Taken by Fair. He gets onto his left foot straight to Miller, who takes the mark, goes on, feeds it out towards Blair Carter. He's going to be caught. No, he gets his boot to ball in towards the pocket. Cook was taken out of the play there with a great shepherd by Fair, who blocked his run, and that allowed Broadbent to take the mark. He switches play, as you said, George.
Did it well.
And Tonovich has got some pace. He'll run off Rat Ray if he can get away, but he's got great backup from Murray Harris. Murray Harris. That's the father of Mark Harris. He'll be pleased I gave him a kick anyway. Beckett can't force his way through, can't control the ball. Carter can, on his left foot. It's a scrubber kick, but towards Broadbent, guarding the goals. Good defence by him. Drives out to the other flank. Maxwell chips in front of King. Feeds it back in towards Griffiths. He's dangerous in this position. He looks forward towards the goals, and I think this one's home too, going by the crowd reaction. And it is. Busselton fight back strongly with Mines Rovers leading 3-2-20 to Busselton 2-2-14.
Yeah, 1 or 2 factors in the game, Ray. Just a little determination then from Busselton just when it was needed. Mines were very steady for the 6 or 8 minutes before that point.
Umpire Darby is about to put the ball in the ground, and it's a good bounce too. Miller and Broadbent. Miller takes it, well done. He feeds it out to Michael Griffiths. He loses control of the footy. Broadbent goes to the ground as he tries to pick it up. Picked up by Ramshaw. He has an airy. Comes back to Miller. Tries to feed it out to Carter, but it's a stacks on the mill, and we'll have a bounce down by umpire Darby once again. The bounce favours Broadbent. In comes Brett Milner. He actually wins the toss and goes to the toss. He wins the tap over towards Bevington. He gets a handball out to the wing where Vinnie Panetta. He'll handball it for the field to Bomber Sherwood. Haven't seen much of him. Feeds it over the top to the runner Brunton. Brunton looks forward towards Panetta. He fumbles the ball because it wasn't a great hand pass from Brunton. He put the ball behind Panetta. In fact, there's a free kick being played there. I never saw that. He must have been taken out of play without it. He gets a free kick, a hand pass over to Sherwood. He drives towards centre half forward, but in front is Rick Tuvey, and they're all grabbing heads in these marking contests. I don't think the umpires will be fooled in that all the time. As Tuvey goes to the centre of the ground towards Griffiths, he'll take over the top of King, and he does so. He's playing a great game of footy at the present time. He drives towards the other point of the square, towards Michael Carter. It's a good spoil by Bevington. The ball comes to the ground, knocked forward by Spilsbury, over towards Antonovich. He didn't want to take it and should have. Miller will come into this. He's outnumbered 3-1, but he makes a fight of it. Comes to Broadbent. He feeds the hand pass out to Astor Marley. He goes over to Jason Marley. He drives towards Rinder. He uses his body well. Comes to Mummy. Feeds the hand pass out. Two Busselton blokes go to ground. Brockman's hurt. A good shepherd from Rinder as Antonovich picks the ball up and drives goalwards, but I think it's only a point as it is. And Mines Rovers 3-3-21 to Busselton 2-2-14.
Yeah, Mines Rovers finding a little bit of calmness again just when it mattered. Busselton had a nice turn of enthusiasm there for a minute or two.
Embry to bring the ball back into play. They all huddle at centre half back. They start breaking. Hayden and Milner, one each to each flank. They all coming down to the members' side. This is the way he goes. Blair Carter's led. Beckett's in the middle of it. Carter goes up for the thump. It ended up being a big pack. Rove by Harley the ruckman. Onto his left foot. Looks forward. Max, I think this is Brown. Brown, I think, has taken this one. And Warren's paid another 50-metre penalty. Well, I didn't think that one was warranted, George.
Well, I suppose he was a bit exuberant about shutting him down just at the last moment. Maybe that's how it looked.
Very kind you are there, George, in my opinion.
Yeah, there you go.
But to each his own. And the umpire says it's his decision. He takes Brown up towards the 50-metre line. He'll kick from right on 50. And a very static forward line that Busselton have got right up forward. Griffiths, the danger man up there. Mark Harris up there. As he goes to the line, he kicks it. It's not going to make the distance. There's going to be a big pack for him here. Broadbent should stump it. He does. It doesn't go far. As it might trickle across for a force behind, and it does. No one behind, it is. 2-3-15, Busselton trail 6 points. Mines Rovers 3-3-21. Marley Aaron brings it into play. He goes out to the far flank to brother Jason. He'll take the mark on his chest this time, nice and cleanly with Griffiths on the mark. Feeds it around the outside. He can see Bevington making ground. Miller's over there, but a very strong mark from Bevington. That was a big mark from a big man. It's strong. He's not going to feed it over to Marley. He'll go back and settle things down. Brad Marley's in all on his own. No defensive play there from Brown. He was standing 10 metres behind him. You can't allow that sort of latitude at any stage, at any game. Onto his left foot as it goes down to the other end of the square. Heading towards Swan. He'll wheel back on his left foot. He's taken tackle well, and it's like Maxwell will take it through on his left foot. It's a chip kick over towards Brown. He's looking for some run out of the middle from Rattray. He's tackled and brought to the ground, but gets his hand pass in towards Brown. The ball's in the pack. It comes out from Maxwell, who's ran well. There's a ball knocked forward. Well done by Broadbent. Knocks it towards Bevington. Bevington fakes one way, comes back the other on his right and drives it to centre half forward where Spilsbury's there. Rinder's in front there, couldn't take the mark. Shark by Sherwood. Sherwood over towards Spilsbury. Spilsbury feeds it out to Rinder. He's got plenty of time to square it onto his boots. Only a chip kick. It's come as far as King onto his left foot. It's not a good kick. Mummy's in the right place at the right time. He can't take it. He's got some defenders to beat. He's fought hard and well to keep the ball in that vicinity. And there's a little bit of to-do down there in the pack, which is not needed as Jock Embry's thrown out by Fontana. And I think he'll get a kick out of this, Embry. And there's some punches thrown in this lot as Sherwood goes in to remonstrate. And they're on. We thought this had happened at some stage, George.
Well, it's been very quiet, hasn't it, Ray? But certainly that's a little bit of a dish-up just to make everybody a little excited.
And it's on again down here on the half-forward side where someone tried to give Milner a backhander as he ran through. The boundary umpire's in it. Where's the emergency umpire? He'll get out and sort this out as the umpires go out into attack. Busselton tend to their attack with Brown. He takes on his chest and runs forward. Gets a squirt little kick up towards Cook. Can't take the bouncing ball. Can now. He's gathered well there by Fair. He's doing a good job on Cook. He hasn't had a kick. That comes out. Vinny Panetto very well at the back of the pack, adding support. He's going to run out of room here. He's got 3 of them to defend him. He feeds it back into Marley. He sidesteps on Beckett. He drives it forward towards Barrett. He's on his own again in a long sleeve jumper. That's unusual on a day like today, as all those tattoos have been broken up. The run is on Mine's favour as Antonovich takes it. Has one bounce and runs to the 50 metre. He's about 60 out. Drives it to the square. Mummy's in front here. He won't take the mark as it's spoilt well by Embry. Ball comes free out towards Brett Milner. He's a good defender, as I said, onto his left foot and goes wide. No one's out there. The speedster's there going to be Ramshaw. He'll take it first. Runs inside 50. Steadies, looks goalwards, drives it towards goal, but misses by a long, long way. It's only a behind to put Mines Rovers 3 goals forward, 22 to Busselton, 2 goals, 3, 15.
In most parts of the play, Ray, Mines Rovers seem to have a little more time than Busselton when they've got the ball.
Yeah, there might be a little bit more talk going on out there than what Busselton have got. Rat Ray takes the ball, feeds it over towards Blair Carter, and Rat Ray gets it back from Carter but runs out of ground. Well, we'll see a throw-in take place. Miller's there. Brenda will take him on for the ruck. It's a line ball decision. Miller has second go and wins it. Rat Ray comes through, gets the hard work, does the handball over to Lapidi. He looks forward with a kicked over towards Barrett. That's Beckett. You get tongue-tied occasionally, I suppose, and Beckett goes long towards Cook. He's got 2 to outnumber here, and over the back comes Fair. The ball's been locked in by Cook. A great spin. He's grabbed before he can get the boot to the ball. It squirts out towards Broadbent. He picks it up, then fumbles. Comes over towards Brunton, feeds it out towards Fair, but then it's come across and scrum's taken place and the ball's forced over the line and out of bounds on the right half forward flank for Busselton. Ball comes into play. Cook will nearly take it, but he can't. It's roved by Carter. The ball, he loses the ball, as does Broadbent, and that's Cook, and he's tied up by the Mines Rovers defence, and we'll have another bounce down.
Mines working overtime on Cook and Griffiths.
Yeah, well, Griffiths was started the game on fire. Ball goes to ground. Broadbent knocks it out towards Panetta. He comes one way, and his kick's smothered. This goes towards Busselton's advantage. Paul Milner's taken the ball, taken without the ball, and he'll take a free kick some 25 metres out on a very, very acute angle, although it's not impossible from there, is it, George?
No, he's in a fairly likely position there, Ray. It's a wee bit tight maybe, but he could see plenty of the sticks for sure, and the space between them. This will be an interesting goal for Busselton's sake here, this one.
Milner lines him up. I think he's pushed it across the face of the goals. In fact, he's kicked it out of bounds on the full. Not a very good finish there by Milner. Cook being brought back on the mark. Aston Marley will bring it back into play. He kicks long out towards the 50-metre line where Ramshaw dives at the ball and forces over the line and out of bounds for a throw-in on the far flank in favour of Busselton, their forward line. Ball comes into play. Broadbent's out there. He's forced out of it and he'll take a free kick. Well, no, there was something before that. I thought Broadbent would have got that one. But Carter must have been shepherded out. Blair Carter. He drives in towards the forward line. Mark Harris up in front, thumped away by Brunton. Gee.
Yeah,
it was there. It was possibly there under the rules, but it's got to be a little bit harder than that to get a free kick, I think. Well, Harris, he's in a position where he kicked a couple of goals in the second semi-final from this position, so the distance obviously won't worry. That the angle is not tight. He's on his right kicking foot from there. Let's see what he can do. Busselton could do with this one. He drives goalwards, and it was going to be a 50-metre decision anyway, but it's straight through the middle for Busselton to go within 1 point of Mines Rovers. 3 goals, 3, 21 to Mines Rovers, 3 goals, 4, 22.
Yes.
Umpire Darby puts the ball to the turf, straight up and down. Up comes Fontana. He tries to take it cleanly, can't. Milner puts his boot into it, goes nowhere. Fontana picks it up. His kick smothered. Comes out to Brown. He fumbles the ball as he gets clear. The ball's in the pack there. Milner on top and on the bottom, sorry, and Ramshaw comes in over the top where we'll have a bounce down. Still in the centre square. Ball goes down. Fontana's there with Haley. Fontana wins it. It's put out by Ramshaw with his boot. Brad Barrett's taken by 2 defenders, or 2 Busselton players in the midfield there, and we'll have yet another bounce down. Here it goes. Haley and Fontana. Fontana wins easy and knocks it to his advantage. Panetta can't get it as Rattray dives on it, and we'll have yet another bounce down.
Good work by Rattray at that stage, Ray, because Mines had an opening and they would have run through with that quite easily.
Especially with Ramshaw. He's very fleet of foot.
Yeah, Rattray did put in on that one.
Up they go again for about the 5th time in a succession as Fontana gets it out to Panetta again. He takes the ball. He's taken by Beckett, and we'll have yet another one. Fontana's not happy with that. Something's happened in the pack. I don't think that's... Tempers... I mean, you can be disappointed with an umpire's decision, but I don't think that's worthy of a free kick either.
No, I think he didn't realise that the umpire was just going to bounce it anyway, but there you go, costly. Mines Rovers will let a few like that go. They have been costly.
They've hurt the side, but they go into attack now with Rinder in front. He was taken in by Carter. He's taken the ground by Hayden. Brett Milner comes up with the ball, feeds it out to Beckett. He looks further afield and goes long. Up towards Fontana in the best position. He'll mark it, feed it off or run off. Good shepherd by Panetta. He drives it out to no man's land where Lapiti's in the front position. The ball bounces away from him in towards the run of Broadbent. Knocks it forward to King. King knocks it back to Broadbent. He looks forward from 60 metres. Mummy's at the back this time. Knocks Embry out of the way. And we'll get a free kick. It's right in the middle of his back.
Yeah, well, that's one at each end now, Ray, more or less, for Busselton's sake.
Yeah, they've had the better end of the umpiring bargain, but it's only the first quarter. Things tend to even itself out over a game of footy as Lapiti takes the mark on the outer half-back flank and goes towards the wing. It's not a long kick. Looking for Maxwell. He goes over his head, and Gary King takes an uncontested mark. Looking forward into the middle towards Antonovich. He created havoc last week against Kerry Park. You would have pitched it in there, George, at some stage. As he goes forward towards Swan, he can't get in. He's outnumbered 3-1. Comes to Barrett. Feeds a hand pass out to Marley, slightly to his back. Gives it back to Barrett. He's cool. He puts his boot to ball. It's a wobbly old kick. And still Spilsbury's in the front position, and I think he's taken a mark on his chest, and he has. But this will be a little bit tighter.
This is very tight, Ray. But it was a good mark considering the pressure.
Well, he kept himself between his opponent and the ball to make sure they couldn't get into his back. We must be close to the 30-minute mark, and according to the scoreboard clock. He's gone forward. It's a good lead from... Well, that's the end of the first quarter of the 1996 grand final, where we see Mines Rovers 3 goals 4-22 to Busselton, 3 goals 3-21. Goal scorers being Griffiths 2 for Busselton and Mark Harris 1 for his side. For Mines Rovers, singles to Antonovich, Spilsbury and Jason Mummy. We have Steve Butler with some best players.
Yeah, well, Ray, it was a pretty outstanding opening. I thought Rodney Griffiths was outstanding for Busselton in the early going, and just interesting some of the matchups in the Busselton defence with Miller playing on Broadbent, and then the two went into the ruck, and I thought that was an interesting matchup because they both did some good things when they went onto the ball. Rattray and Sherwood on there was interesting too, and George, I thought the matchup between Tuvey and Ramshaw was interesting too.
Yeah, it was good, Steve, and there was a lot of hard work being done within the square itself by both sides. And to me, it seemed a little bit in that quarter that in general terms, Mines Rovers were a little bit more calm about it all, although it was fisty at times.
Yeah, there was two good explosions there, but I thought also Paul Bevington and Panetta did some good work in defence, and also in the middle of the ground for Busselton. Rattray's handballing again was a feature like it was here in '93 when he won the Pike Medal, and also Mark Maxwell did some good things on the outer wing.
I was happy for Mark Maxwell because, I mean, he's come up a league now, and it's nice to see somebody perform under this sort of pressure. Well done all sides.
Yeah, I thought early there was a fair bit of fumbling, a bit of nervousness down there, and I think Mines Rovers could really have had a bigger score on the board if that fumbling wasn't happening down there in their forward line early in the piece.
I tend to agree with that, Steve. I think they had possession there for about 7 or 8 minutes and constantly on the scoreboard side. There was a big gap on this side of the ground, and it wasn't used at all by either side by switching of play. But nevertheless, you know, that's the way this game goes, and it got bogged down, but there you are.
As much as a good player as Jock Embry is for Busselton, I'm a bit concerned about Jason Mummy there. He's a bit of a taller player for Mines Rovers, and I reckon he's one of the most underrated players in the league. I really think he can do some good things on his day.
Yeah, I think that time's to come for a few players yet. A few of them have probably been a little bit nervous with a grand final up their sleeve to perform in, but I really think the game's going to settle down into something quite interesting.
Yeah, well, I think they've both let go a fair bit of frustration and a bit of nervous enthusiasm now, and I think it might go on in that direction. Yeah,
and Steve, what we were anticipating was a fiery start, but apart from a little bit of jostling, the first 10 minutes of the game had nothing much in it, you know, from a physical point of view. But as the game developed in that quarter, there was some athleticism and a little bit of physical beef, especially down at the scoreboard end of the ground. There was a nice little shirty-cuffy affair there for a while.
And certainly interesting to see Lapidi making another acquaintance with Fontana as they did in the second semi.
Yeah, well, I didn't see the second semi game, but that was an interesting exhibition of a big fella with not so big a fella.
That's for sure. Yeah, well, I think, as you say, George, it's really going to settle down into a fantastic game in the second quarter now.
Yeah, and I think it's a nice crowd around each team, and I think the support is evenly balanced by what I can see from here.
Definitely.
Well, George, interesting. The recruit of the mid-season from Bunbury for Busselton, Travis Hall, the full forward, never got in the starting lineup.
No, well, there you go. I suppose that Terry had his numbers, and maybe he would have built. Maybe he made the decision as in keeping with those that have been there a little longer than Travis.
Yeah, very interesting. Anyway, the ball comes out towards Lapidi. He's on his left foot and drives it forward to Blair Carter, who's in front of his man and takes it on his chest. He's looking around for someone to feed it off, so he'll have to kick, and he does down towards Mark Harris. He shepherds his bloke out. It comes down towards Maxwell. He picks it up, shrugs the shoulders as if he's waiting for a tackle, gets onto his left foot, goes over Fontana's head, comes into Panetta. He fumbles the first take, then gets it and squeezes it out towards Bebbington, who spoils it towards the boundary line. A great spoil from Bebbington. Didn't start in all that good a fashion, but he's come back with a vengeance in the last half of the first quarter. Ball about to come into play. Cook and Fontana, but it's knocked forward by Fair, and I think he's just about been knocked out there in a shoulder clash. No, he's up on his feet, but geez, he hit the ground hard when he went to the turf. Comes over the back to Fontana, feeds it over towards Marley. He decides to clear it with a kick, and it comes up towards Brett Milner, and Spilsbury goes up over the pack, but the ball's taken cleanly by Blair Carter to take it back onto the left foot of Brett Milner, the skipper. He drives it to centre half forward where Cook's waiting. There's two around him. This could be nearly a strong mark to Cook. He couldn't hold it. Comes towards Tooby, tries to force the ball through. Cook staggers one way and then the other, squeezes the ball out. It's blocked off his foot, taken by Panetta, who's playing a great game. Feeds the ball out to Marley, over towards Barrett there. The ever reliable skids the ball forward by 15-20 metres, taken by Spilsbury. A good hand pass to Antonovich. Antonovich back onto his right foot and just gets a kick away in time. It goes to no one. Brett Milner couldn't make it. Swan, brilliantly done, onto his left foot, squeezes it out to Sherwood. He's got three to beat. Tackled by Rattray, taken to the ground. Screaming here from Mine Drovers, looking for a free kick as the ball goes in towards Busselton forward line. Griffiths makes hay while the sun shines. He couldn't take it cleanly. Harris there to back him up. He's taken away from it. So is Griffiths as the ball gets knocked back underneath him as Bebbington comes in to tie things up for Mine Drovers. And again, the crowd from Mine Drovers screaming like mad for a free kick, which they didn't get. 9 kicks to 1 in favour of Busselton in the first quarter. Very unusual tally. The ball's in play. Haley and Fontana, they had their work cut out. Scrambled out by Harris. He gets it out towards Brown. Couldn't hold to the diving mark. Went hard for it. He's still got it. Knocks it out towards Beckett. Beckett onto his left foot. Squares up towards Cook coming from behind. But it's spoilt well by Brunton. Picked up by Barrett. Great pick up there. Taken off the ground by Fair. Hand pass over to Brunton. Again at the ankles of Marley. But he's cool in a crisis. Kicks it long towards Spilsbury's got 2 to beat and 2 good players in Carter and Blair. And Milner, and does it well to the backup of Sherwood. He looks forward and he gets onto his right foot out towards Rinder. Rinder takes the mark in front of Vaughan Carter, who's come on the ground, and he's decided to make it hard for Mine Drovers. The ball's in their arms. The ball will go into attack as Carter's dragged back off the mark.
Good defence, Mines Rovers against Busselton's attack there, Ray, for about 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah, it was a dangerous situation for the Eagles. Goes up to Spilsbury. He gets rid of Milner. Okay by the umpire. Hand pass over by Broadbent. It's a looping one to Sherwood. He doesn't mind how they come. He takes a kick off one step, squeezes it out towards Antonovich. Will take this on his chest. In the right spot at the right time. I don't know if that was directed in that way, but he'll take the mark. Well, he's taken the mark and he'll have a direct shot on goal from about 35 metres out on an angle about 45 degrees.
Yeah, this is a goal that the Eagles will be looking forward to converting. Just to settle it a little bit. The margin's very, very tight, but at the same time, this is their opportunity.
Very deliberate Antonovich as he moves in off a few steps, goes goalwards, and I think he squeezed it across to the right-hand side as Embry takes the mark, and it's only a behind. So late Mine Drovers 3-5-23 to Busselton 3-3-21, and really that's a goal he should have got, George.
Yeah, indeed, Ray, I felt that way myself. But then again, you look at the last couple of grand finals this time into this part of the game, the scoreboard is remarkably similar.
It is. That's Spiral taught by Jock Embry from the kick-in has been marked by Barrett some near on 80 metres from goal.
Good kick out.
This will take 3 to get back. As Barrett stabs it in towards Lucas Ramshaw. He takes a strong mark in front from a great kick that was delivered from Brad Barrett. He's done a lot of good work. Yeah, Carter was caught in no man's land then, but wise he was that he didn't cross the mark. Ramshaw goes short again towards the lead of Broadbent. Spilsbury stays down as he couldn't quite hang it. He flicks it back towards Sherwood, couldn't handle it. Maxwell can, onto Brett Milner. He drives long to no one in particular. Beckett's looking around, take the ball with you. He couldn't quite make it, squeezes a hand pass out over towards Harris. He can't take the ball cleanly, and it's been grabbed in the clinches, and I suppose he had it at one stage. He didn't have it when he was grabbed. As the ball's brought back to Harris, who's right on the wing. He looks forward for the Maggies, and it's a good lead from Griffiths. He looks around to see who's on his tail, and it's Marley. Shows in the ball, and he's taken the ground, and I reckon that's holding the ball.
I think, Ray, that Griffiths should have done a good run at that ball to mark it.
Yeah, he tends to attack the ball not with the greatest endeavour in those situations, and thought he could get away from him.
A lot of players are getting onto that business of waiting for it to bounce. I think the run to the ball and mark it is the better of the two deals.
Certainly would have been then, because he's given away the free kick from a strong tackle by Marley. He goes on his left. Haley's in the best position to mark, and Jason Marley completely out height by the opposite player, and no chance in the world of marking that. Haley goes forward to centre forward. Michael Carter's coming in. He couldn't take the mark. Bustled out of it. Taken by Sherwood again. He's grabbed. Feeds it out towards Marley again. He's taken 2 bounces. If he doesn't kick it now, he'll be caught. He just gets his boot to ball to centre forward. Vaughan Carter's in the box seat and takes it easily on his chest. He's looking for the run of Hayden. He doesn't give it to him. Goes back. Goes out wide again towards the scoreboard flank where Blair Carter's going to get a ride on Barrett. Nowhere near the footy as the ball comes towards Bebbington. Feeds it over to Sherwood. Stands still. Looks. And then goes with a 35-metre kick over towards Swan, who's on his own. Waits in for the ball to bounce. It bounces straight up and down. He gets it now off to his feet. Fed out towards Barrett. He's clever. Knocks it forward and is taken. And I thought it was a free kick. It was no different to Harris's. Harris comes in, picks up the footy. Drives towards half forward. Cook and Troy Fair. He's done a great job, Troy Fair, at this stage of the game on Cook. And Carter sees the ball run over the line and out of bounds. Battle of defences.
Yes, and both defences doing it very well. Vaughan Carter's judgment there across the half-back line was handy for Busselton at that particular moment.
Cook tries to take clean possession, bounce the ball back to him. The ball's squeezed out towards Rattray. He's hard, tough. He runs through the tackle and has a shot on goal, but misses to the near side. And Busselton creep 1 point closer to be 1 point difference. 3 goals 4, 22 Busselton. 3 goals 5, 23 Mines. A little kick to himself by Marley. That forces Cook forward, and then King comes in for the little chip shot, and he's pushed squarely in the middle of the bag. And the other, no 50-metre penalty there, and that's very inconsistent between the two umpires.
Well, the interesting thing now, Ray, is that the free kicks against Mines Rovers are quite noticeable, yet at the scoreboard they're still in the game.
Well in the game, George. They're playing very well as the chip kick comes over towards Antonovich. He takes it on his chest and was looking to go, but decided the best part of Valley's gone around and played on by the umpire as he feeds the hand pass to King. Sidesteps Haley. He's grabbed with one big hand. Feeds the hand pass to Fontana's running up and down on the spot. Feeds up towards Rinder, couldn't take the mark. Ball bounces to his favour. Looks for a hand pass inside. He's on his left foot. Bounces once. Goes back onto his right. He chips it over towards Swan, will take the mark here. He's got his eyes on the ball. Well roved by Ramshaw. He's grabbed with it by Brown. The ball comes to the ground again by Spilsbury. Got the ball underneath him. He can't get it out as Hayden comes in and keeps it in there.
Just looked a little bit there that there wasn't enough talking from the Mines Rovers boys. Busselton did it well.
Yes, they came back hard then because he should have kept going on his left foot by the look of it. Bounced down by Warren. Miller's there, as is Broadbent. Miller takes it cleanly, feeds it to Hayden. He couldn't get his boot to it. Milner can pick it up onto his handball. Knocked over back by Mines Rovers. Ramshaw tries to knock it forward. It's taken by Carter. He feeds it out very quickly towards Brown. Looking around one way then the other. Feeds a hand pass to Hayden. He gets onto his left foot and King's in front. Nearly took the mark from Maxwell. Maxwell throws him out of the way and gets a hand pass over to Lapidi. He breaks clear, looking up forward for Carter. Carter's up and takes a good strong mark. He's very, very good overhead, Blair Carter. Hand pass to Harris. He gets a hand pass to the run of Tuvey. Looking down deep forward, and Cook's come from behind into the front position. Couldn't quite judge the flight of the ball. Didn't take the mark. Back at the Rovers there. He's going to feed it back to Cook. Cook gathers a bouncing ball over towards Harris. Onto his right. He brings it around his body, but there's no one there besides Brunton. Can't get to the flight of the ball, and next it knocks it over the line and out of bounds for a throw in the right full forward pocket for the Maggies.
Yeah, it looks a little bit to me, Ray, that Cookie's being well held by the boys from the half-back division, and so too Griffiths this far.
And while that was happening, Harris has had a snap from the boundary line to square the scoreboard at 3-5 apiece. Low scoring but tough football, hard and fair. In a very great day as far as the weather's concerned. You would think you'd have 7 or 8 goals on the board by now, but the tightness of both defences is showing that no goals are going to come easy as Marley kicks it to himself, has one bounce, draws Carter towards him. Barrett misses it, as does Milner. Fontana's outnumbered 3-1 and scoops it out towards Barrett again, but Blair Carter showing dash, comes through, squares off onto his... Well, if the umpire paid a free kick, he thought he was going to go. Then he went back because I think that's a fair decision in the end. Umpire Mark Warren's come down to take the mark.
Bit of gutsy play from Blair Carter at that particular point.
To attack the footy hard, the way it should be. The footy was his object, as it always is, as he goes onto that awkward kicking style into the square. This is danger. Up goes Griffiths in the front of the pack, and he takes another strong mark right on the edge of the goal square for the Magpies.
Yeah, this is what they need now. Griffiths to take 1 or 2 marks and Cookie to take a few too. It's a telling situation.
This will break the deadlock. Any score straight through the middle. Busselton 4 goals 5-23. Mines Rovers 4 goals 5-29 to Mines Rovers 3-5-23. Okay, bounce down time in the middle of the ground. As is usual after a goal, Fontana and Haley, it's a line ball decision. Taken by Swan, squeezed out to Hayden. Hayden on his left foot. Beckett's in front, can't quite make it. Panetta's right behind him. He knocks it forward towards Sherwood, fumbles it first, then goes to ground. The ball comes out to Rattray and Tuvey. No talking there. Tuvey can't break the tackle. Feeds it over to Rattray. He ducks his head, keep going. No one's got hold of him as Blair Carter waits for it. Marley says don't wait for it and comes through and knocks it forward. Follows up his own ball. Can't quite get a handle on it. Brett Milner comes in to get him out of the way. He can't do that. A great run by Marley forces it forward. Hayden's in the way. He goes to ground. The ball comes to King, the speedster. He's looking to bring one forward and then runs one too far. Gets a handball and he's pinged for holding the ball.
Trying to do a little bit too much there, I thought.
Rattray, a bit of interference in the pack there, and Cook gets the ball. He puts it up towards Harris. He takes the mark on his chest. Slows the game down, goes back, then goes over towards Maxwell, who's run forward right away from King, who's still way back on the middle in on the wing position. And Maxwell some 45 metres out, looking for centre half forward. He's found Cook there, wandering down there. It's a bad kick. Antonovich will take this on his chest and relieve the pressure for the Miners as he goes and has one bounce and finds Maxwell's opposite number in King. And the umpire is, no, that's fair enough, he said. Maxwell now coming up, taking the opposite wingman as a little kick over towards Marley, has the obligatory bounce and then feeds it over towards Barrett. He's got the sit here and he'll mark this easily. A great player that he is.
Mines need to get into this game at their end of the ground now, Ray, at this point.
Sherwood broken free right on the edge of the square, on the edge of the 50-metre circle with, and he's looking forward. I don't think Bomber can get the distance.
I think he should go for it now because there's such a pack up there now, it's real untidy.
Well, I've opened the goal square up, but he wasn't quick enough to notice that.
No. I think just back his judgment now.
He's not going to have a go. He's nodding to get somebody up there. King's going there from the wing. Someone else has led from the pocket in Broadbent. He's got the jump on Miller and takes an easy mark, virtually uncontested.
Yes, in situations like that, Ray, you take a little bit long, you start to just put yourself off the beat a bit. But it worked out for Mines Rovers. Now this will be interesting.
Yes, it's a goal they could do with now. They haven't kicked one for some time.
Yep.
Even though they're few and far between both sides as it is anyway.
Well, that's what makes
They
it
need
so
a lifter.
vital now, Ray.
A couple of steps from Broadbent. It's not going to make the distance. They up in the pack, and Swan nearly brings it down. He follows up his own ball, feeds it out to Sherwood. Sherwood snaps on his right foot, and we'll wait on that's one behind only.
Yeah, a bit costly for investment there.
You would have thought Broadbent should have got the distance on that occasion from there. Actually got a little bit underneath the footy, but that's the way it is. Embry's going to kick it into attack. Ball in from defence into to the centre half back line is Busselton using their interchange bench with some of their runners.
Yeah, 2 new players on, Ray, for Busselton.
Brett Milner breaks free and gets the ball from the kick in. Nicholson's just come off the bench at the right time in the right place as he gets onto his left foot and drives it forward towards Blair Carter. He's caught behind there as Bevington attacks the footy with gusto. Good stuff from Bevington. Breaks the tackle of Hayden. No, he doesn't. He was about to be pinged, but he couldn't quite get it as Harris runs in, shrugs the shoulders over towards Nicholson. He's onto his second kick within 30 seconds of being on the ground. The running ball is favouring Griffiths if he can get to it in front of Marley. He's going to backtrack, no doubt. He runs over the ball. Not a lot of desperation shown in that occasion by Griffiths as the ball comes out by Marley. Over towards the speedster in Ramshaw and Brown. This will be a good contest out there. Ramshaw comes back. Brown goes to ground. Ramshaw kicks into the smother from Turvey, which goes back 30 metres the other way. The backup comes from Broadbent. He's changed jumpers and over to Antonovich right in the middle of the ground. Panetta's running through, but Antonovich comes this way. A good kick if he can make it. He waits again for the bounce of the ball. Wouldn't have made that one on the full anyway. Followed up by Barrett. Runs around in circles, feeds it to Spilsbury. Spilsbury, a reliable player, out towards Mummy. He goes back one step. Brett Swan's broken free. He's going to take it on his chest. Fontana's in the square on his own. He had to be left by Hayden, but they were able to hold up play long enough for Swan, who should just about, well, he obviously get the distance, George. He's got to get the direction to soften things up a little bit for Mines Rovers.
Yeah, well, they've got to do this one because the game's that tight that a score has to be part of the deal. I thought that Mines rallied well there in the square. They had numbers, and they had numbers on the half-forward line when the ball counted.
Deliberate shot from Swan. We're right behind this one. Left footer. The wind's carrying it over to the left-hand side. And he's also missed. A bit of breeze out there the way that ball carried away then, George.
Well, that carried away very, very quickly. I was surprised. I wouldn't have thought it would have been that influential.
400 metres foot right, please. Go to the canteen into the change room immediately.
Ball's into play. Sherwood and Brockman, who's come back on after injuring his ankle. Sherwood forces the ball forward. In comes Haley to add some bite towards Brockman. The ball comes out to Carter. Carter stands up and flings it out towards the boundary line, where it goes over the line and out of bounds.
Well, Ray, there's no quarter given by either side. It's a real nip and tuck game, isn't it? You know, there just doesn't appear to be much there.
You're right, and these ruck contests, I suppose there's one there, but I'm blowed if they could pick out who starts these wrestling situations, but it's gone to Busselton's favour yet again. Haley goes long towards Miller. Miller and Broadbent. Miller's forced out of it by Broadbent with a good little nudge from the big man on the other big man. Broadbent goes back. That's how he should have had a shot at goal. Drives it towards centre half forward. Swan and Fontana both spoil each other. Spilsbury takes the crumbs. Around the corner towards Rinder. Rinder stops and goes back. He's looking. He comes inboard now. Drives towards the square. Swan's there and he'll take the front position. Gathers the ball from the ground onto his left foot. Couldn't quite get the distance, and I think this has been paid as a mark.
He's paid it. I'm sure he's paid it. Although from here I couldn't be sure whether he marked it cleanly or not. But he fell to the ground with the ball in front. Maybe that was enough. I'm not sure. I don't know how it happened. How did you see that?
Well, I wasn't sure. I thought the ball spilled out from his hands, but then again, the umpire was a lot closer than us, and I suppose something had to turn for Mines Rovers in that department at some stage.
Yeah, well, once again, from that sort of angle, they've really got to convert this one now.
Mummy comes in, straight in towards goals. He's missed, according to Jock Embry. It's a goal. I think he tried to con the umpire there, but it's straight through. So Mines Rovers take the lead now. 4 goals, 7, 31 to Busselton. 4 goals, 5, 29.
Interesting time in the grand final to have both sides so close like this. It's a very, very difficult affair.
It's the
Credit
third.
to both teams.
This is the third game of the day, and they've all been tight. It's been great football action in the southwest today. The ball comes down towards Ramshaw. He knocks it forward. Broadbent's got a head of steam up. The ball bounces the wrong way for him. Picked up by Beckett, the little man, onto his left foot towards Maxwell. He's looking around. Does he want it? In the end, he says, yes, I do. But then the ball bounced over to Marley. A little kick over to Ramshaw. He's going to chip it over towards Marley. He's not running freely. There's something wrong with Marley, I'm sure of it. He goes over towards the top of the square, and Sherwood's, I think he's called Brockman out, or he's just too far underneath it and couldn't get back.
Yeah, and Marley looking definitely sus.
Heel.
Sorry?
It's heel, it shouldn't have been heel.
Oh, right, it's his heel. Yeah, well, there you go. Just playing a little bit of strength of heart now, I reckon. Once again, it's Rovers looking a little calmer in some of the fray. Although Busselton has done some useful work.
Not much wrong with that one from here, George.
No, that's a fair goal. Well earned, I'd say.
Mines Rovers, 2 quick goals in succession. They move to 5 goals, 7-37 to Busselton, 4 goals, 5-29.
Yeah, and their captain to boot too. I think someone has to stand up for both teams. It's just the way it goes. No, isn't it amazing? And it hasn't fallen off, has it? Just didn't it? I mean, the normal fire would have been on the floor 10 times.
The game's underway again. Miller and Broadbent. No one wins the knock. Comes out to Toobies. He gets the ball forward towards Carter. He's causing all sorts of problems on the half-forward flank with his overhead ability. He goes back. Awkward kicking style. Not the best of kicks. Comes towards Brunton. He thumps it away towards the run of Bevington. He burst his way through the pack as he did just a minute ago on a spiral torpedo over towards the boundary line. It's the best he could do, and that was a good bit of play by Bevington. Good shepherd by Vaughan Carter allows Lapidi. He drags in Swan away from Hayden. Hayden over towards Brockman. He takes the ball in his chest. There's no one running past. He's going to go back and steady the ball down as he comes out towards Beckett. He's standing on his own but not calling for it. Michael Carter. Again, Blair Carter from the side. He's playing a fantastic game of footy.
Yeah, Blair Carter's doing it really well. He's keeping Busselton alive around to that area.
He's the only winner they've got that's consistent at the moment. The kick from hand pass from Carter went to Milner, who drives it towards Cook. He has having a dirty day, can't hold the footy as the balls are forced over towards the boundary line. Cook tries to keep it in front. He picks it up in the end, but he's forced across the boundary line with the footy in tow. And we'll have a throw in over near the scoreboard, which shows Mines Rovers leading by 8 points. Broadbent and Cook. Broadbent tries to take it. Cook might have done likewise with the hands that were up there. Knocked out volleyball style towards Tuvey. Tuvey squares it around with a big high kick towards Maxwell. He couldn't mark it, but he knocks it towards Milner onto his left foot. That's his natural kick, but it's over towards the left-hand forward pocket, and who's there but Brad Barrett. Clears once again. Not such a good kick this time, but Marley's been clean bowled by it as he misses the Carter tackle as it comes in. Feeds it out to Barrett. Barrett looking for Ramshaw. Little bloke on Miller, but he bounces to his feet. Good shepherd from Miller allows Maxwell to come forward. A great kick over towards Beckett. Beckett looks inboard towards Lapidi, but he ignores him. Cook's leading again. They're not going to let him down as he comes forward again. Griffiths comes in front, spoilt by Marley. A great duel those two are having. Marley more desperate at the ground. He shepherds out Griffiths to allow Panetta to pick up the ball and run off with the long hand pass to Antonovich, who's out wide. He feeds it out wide once again towards Sherwood and Brockman, and the ball's forced over the line once again, right on the wing.
Nice competition between Sherwood and Brockman in that particular situation. They both didn't give an inch. It was good stuff.
Ball comes into play with Broadbent and Milner. No, Broadbent wins it. The ball's come out to Sherwood. Sherwood onto his boot towards Swan. The ball's going to beat him over the line and out of bounds for yet another throw in, and we're about the 22-minute mark of the second quarter. Miller's going over to contest the ruck with Broadbent. It's knocked forward by Miller, I think, or two hands by Broadbent. Couldn't tell from there. The hand pass comes out to Spilsbury. Spilsbury up towards Carter and Rinder. They're both holding each other. Play on tells the umpire. They're both back at the fall. It comes out to Marley. He can't get the ball out. It's knocked out now. Brought back in, and Mummy's the other player in there from Mines Rovers.
Yeah, 2 or 3 sorties from both teams then, and no decision made.
Ball's thrown in the air. Broadbent and Miller. Comes to Milner. Handballs over to Vaughan Carter. Drives it long and high up towards Brockman and Sherwood. Sherwood gets rid of Brockman. The ball bounces away from him towards Marley, Aaron it is, and Blair Carter. Aaron Marley lets the ball beats him over the line. I was going to say lets him go over a bit. I don't think he did that. He was too far behind it. It's over line and out of bound. Right on the between wing and half forward. No quarter asked, no quarter given as Broadbent knocks it forward towards Barrett. He's taken out of the play but comes back again with a left-hand hand pass to himself. Follows it along the boundary line. The Shepherd from Ramshaw is good. He's done it again, but he hasn't got enough backup as back it comes in.
Like
and
well, I mean, he puts in pairs a little bit.
Becker could have been lucky he wasn't ping-folding the ball then, because he waited for the umpire's whistle as he went out of bounds as it comes in with Broadbent and Miller. Once again, Miller takes it cleanly, then it comes to ground. Comes in by Marley. He picks it up onto his left. Goes forward towards Rinder and Vaughan Carter. And Mines, according to the crowd, have finally got a long-deserved free kick. But as I say, they usually all match up in the end of the day.
Yeah, Sherwood was looking for running on then, Ray.
Yeah, could have been a bit unlucky he stopped, actually. The ball comes into the lead of Brett Earl, who's come onto the ground. He's a surprise inclusion in the side. Ball squeezed out to King. He's on 50. He runs to 45. He's going to try and get around Maxwell. And he does. Onto his right. He's going to go onto his left. He could have done the wrong thing here. He squeezes it back and he could have just about... He's missed it. Can tell he's missed it. Well, I think he tried to do a little bit too much there, and I think Antonovich is a little bit sick and sorry on the hands of the trainers.
Yeah, and that would have been a quality goal, Ray, but it was just too much work by one man. He should have really delivered earlier.
Yes, you're right. And there's that big spiral taught by Jock Embry right out to there. Two of his taken around the head and should get a free kick. Carter's looking for the ball to play on, but Barrett won't have a bar of that. Harris is 10 metres in front of Bevington. He ignores that lead and go over there, head towards Blair Carter. And Cook's going to finally take one. And he runs off, pushes away from Fair. In comes Carter onto his left. He's not the best of right foots, let alone left, but the left footer has found Quentin Brown. 40 metres out on an angle hardly worth speaking about. And again, George, we find that after one side gets a little bit of ascendancy for 5 or 6 minutes, the other side has come back.
Yeah, well, isn't it amazing? That would be your best bet, wouldn't it? One side scores and then the other one quickly retaliates after a long patch of nothing. But this is good for Busselton. They need to convert this one. Brown should really do it from that position.
Not a lot of opportunities on goal. Neither club could be guilty of losing the flag for squandering too many. He runs to 40. It's only just going to make the distance, but I think he's missed by a fraction because the umpire's run across, and I'm right this time. 4 goals, 6, Busselton 30. Lions Rovers, 5 goals, 8, 38. There's a free kick being paid. Now there's a blood rule being come into effect here as the umpire's sending Cook off the ground. Well, the speed Cook he runs, it'll be a couple of minute break here, and I think the players could do with a bit of a breather.
Yeah, well, the weather's quite warm, and it's starting to tell, I think, Ray, just a little, although there's been good workmanship done by both sides up to now. I think, too, what's happening is that we're getting more and more to see Mines Rovers banking up good numbers across the centre. And I think Busselton are responding with some good work off the half-back line and their half-forward line. But still, it's interesting times.
Yeah, 28-minute mark of the quarter. Noel McKay's just come on. I thought he might have been out a bit early, a little sharpshooter, and had just a few legs around the ground, but he'll be fresh for the second half. There's no doubt about that. So Mines Rovers to bring it in. Marley does, and there's breaks is Antonovich. It goes over his head. He's good enough to class the ball out of Laputi's hands, and he goes to the wing. No one there. Swan's going to have 2 to beat. Hayden and Milner, I think it is, but the ball's run over the line now to bounds, and that's probably the best decision Mines could have got.
Yep.
Well, there we have it at half-time. Mines Rovers, 5 goals, 8, 38. Lead Busselton, 4 goals, 6, 30. The made goal scorers for Mines Rovers, we find Jason Mummy, an unlikely spearhead at 2 goals, and singles to Sherwood, Rinder and Spilsbury. For Busselton, Rodney Griffiths, 3 great marks and 3 great goals, and 1 to Harris. Great game of footy, and Steve, what have you got for your best players?
Well, I thought Mines absorbed some terrific pressure early from Busselton in defence, and I thought players such as Bevington at centre-half back made some great spoils. Aaron Marley, Panetta and Barrett combined well to get the ball with some nice handball chains out of defence there, George.
Yeah, I just felt that Mines Rovers have been a lot calmer, Steve, all the way through this game, although Busselton done very well when they had to regroup. They've played well defensive football off the half-back flank and also off the half-forward line Blair Carter. But I really think it's the numbers that Mines are putting into the square that making the difference just at the moment. Although it's hard to tell with the score this close. But the free kicks... Sorry, Steve, the free kicks that Busselton are getting, you know, the scoreboard is looking mighty like a close game, and who knows?
Well, the free kicks at the moment are 14-3 in favour of Busselton, so that's an interesting little sidelight. But players for Mines Rovers such as Sherwood, he came into the game when Rattray came off on the bench for a rest, and also thought Antonovich on the wide wing was pretty impressive as well. And but I really thought we saw the best of the 1994 Haywards medalist then in Blair Carter. I thought him and his brother Vaughan were absolutely outstanding that quarter.
They did show it up for Busselton, and interestingly enough, Steve, you know, Cookie and Griffiths are being pretty well held by the stodgy half-back and full-back liners of Mines Rovers, but still those two players can make a score pretty quickly.
Well, it's interesting to see that Busselton are relying a lot on the one-on-one duels with Cook up there, but yes. Cook's dropped a lot of marks that usually he would have swallowed up, hasn't he?
Yeah, well, you notice how that they're moving in. One from the front, which is his immediate defender, and one coming from the back, or vice versa. It doesn't make much difference, but Cookie's the man, so too is Griffiths. When they were firing Griffiths early in the first quarter, it looked like Busselton's game, but I really think Mines Rovers are really playing very steady football.
They are, and I think another one of the most fantastic duels on the ground would have to be Broadbent and Miller, and I think Broadbent probably started to get the points there in that quarter.
Yep, that was interesting because Miller has been dynamic, as you know, in various games through the season. But I think that Broadbent is just prepared to nudge away at it. So here we go. It's interesting times.
And there's an 8-point lead to Mines Rovers, and I think it's set up for a perfect second half grand final.
Well, Steve, after having been one last year and Dougie Cross the year before me, I mean 7 points, 8 points, who knows today? This is tight stuff, and I don't think either side's going to give an inch. But I do sort of feel that Mines Rovers are just a little calmer, that's all. Busselton are doing things when they have to, but Mines are definitely calmer.
Yeah, I think they showed that in the pressure they absorbed in defence, but I actually think it might be a little bit the other way, and I reckon Busselton could be ready to explode.
Well, I think Terry's angling on that. I'm sure that he's got his team pretty well ready for a long-term duty. It happened at Kelly Park, didn't it? I didn't see the game, but I believe that that they held Mines in the third quarter, and then in the fourth quarter against the Breeze, it was their run that did it. Perhaps we'll see it again today. Who knows?
Well, we're just about ready to get underway in the third quarter, George, and as a coach who's just finished his reign in the 1996 season, is there any major changes or anything that you'd look at as to give either side a bit of a leg up for the third quarter?
Well, in the case of Busselton, Ray, I'm looking around now for Rattray. I thought Rattray's presence in the first quarter and a half was effective. I think he's the type of player that's prepared to put the meat on when it's required. I don't see him out there, so that would be one thing, although Terry would have reasons for that, as much as knowing that Marley's gone back out there for Mines Rovers, and he seems to have been limping a little bit. So it's interesting. Both coaches obviously are pretty well decided on what they're doing.
Hasn't been a lot of moves made, and obviously with the scores the way they are and as tight as they've been, there's not a lot of moves that need to be made.
No, well, in fairness to the coaches, Ray, I think that, you know, the nature of the game is that it's pretty well in the balance, and no one's really making that much of a mess of things.
Yes, the best players are very hard to find at this stage when they over a two-quarter side, and there have been some outstanding individuals. Well, we're away in what they call the Premiership quarter. We'll see if one team can break the monotony of the tightness of the competition as Antonovich gets his kick smothered. Comes out to Tooby. He scrambles a kick up towards centre forward. Marley's in front. He marks on his chest and goes forward towards Swan and Hayden. Swan's in front, but he goes to the ground. He could have dislocated a finger in that clash. As I was just looking at Swan then, there's a free kick coming Busselton's way once again. So Maxwell, it's an over-the-shoulder decision, and all head-high tackles, although I believe they should always be paid, irrespective of how hard they are. Maxwell changes the flight of the game. Antonovich is in front. Embry's there behind him, picks up the bouncing footy. A hand pass to Carter, who misses it. Vaughan it was. He flings out the ball towards Haley. He can't get it. Goes to ground. Maxwell stands up and feeds it over the top to Brockman. He's on his left kicking foot, which is his right kicking foot, as far as he's concerned. Fontana couldn't quite grab it. Beckett does and gets a hand pass, only to see Fair grab it. He one stand, and off he goes. I'm getting tongue-tied here. Spilsbury takes a mark anyway. He goes out towards the half-forward flank. Rinder couldn't quite mark it. In comes Carter. He does an excellent job. Vaughan Carter goes back and delivers the ball out towards the wing, where Maxwell and King are an exciting duel out there. Two speedsters. Maxwell's had a lot of the football. Hasn't been all that effective with his kicks. King has also done some good things. I can get my breath back here, George. I was getting a bit tongue-tied there in the middle. Ball comes into play here with Fontana reaching across the back and slaps it towards his goals. Tuvey reads the play well and comes out at a lot of kicks on his left foot, and they've only been scrambling kicks. Hasn't been effective either. In comes Ramshaw, drives it down towards the half-forward flank in the 50-metre line. Ball bounces free to Mummy. He gets tackled by two. Sockers it out only as far as Lapidi. Lapidi makes his ground in a little chip kick over towards Tuvey, who will settle things down as he goes back and quickly onto his foot now as he comes up towards the leading Blair Carter, and he's taken another good mark. Geez, growing in leaps and bounds. They missed his services early in the season, but he's coming good and right time of the season that they need him, right on grand final day. Steadied down a bit. He'll go back with a kick down towards the half-forward flank, straight into the arms of the waiting Brad Barrett. You would have thought that he picked him out the way the ball went there. But Barrett reads the game exceptionally well. They're all gathering their breath, looking for a start as he goes back and again kicks it long towards the pack. Spilsbury gets underneath the ball. Carter goes up high, but reaching across the top is Swan. Over onto his left foot, looks towards centre half forward, and Broadbent and Miller. Broadbent's getting shoved forward by Miller. No one can take the mark. In fact, Miller has. I thought the umpires was going to let that go then. Carter out towards Tuvey, making some ground onto that far flank. A little kick over towards Maxwell, or is it Brockman? Brockman, he misses it. King picks it up. A left-hand hand pass over to standing still is Spilsbury. He's tackled by Lapidi. And the ball's forced over the line and out of bounds for a throw-in.
Yeah, no time given to any player, Ray. They are prepared to tackle immediately.
In we come again for another bounce and throw-in. In comes Miller, knocks it with the backhand over towards Maxwell. He dives over the top of his opponent and grabs the footy, but he's also grabbed and the ball won't come out, so the umpire will have yet another job to do here and probably throw it up over on that spongy part of the ground. And he does. Up it goes. Broadbent and Miller. They clash in the middle towards each other. It comes out with knees, I was about trying to say there. Out towards Hayden. Hayden onto his only kicking foot that he's got, and that's his left. Straight up and down the air. Fontana pushes Haley out of the way and smothers it towards his player in Barrett. Barrett can't get it, but he knocks it over towards Ramshaw. He couldn't take it either, and somebody's been taken high once again, and it'll be another Busselton kick. Peter Beckett. Hand pass over to Tuvey. Tuvey's trying to get some run going up towards centre forward, but in front is Vinny Panetta. A great game he's played today too. He takes a mark in front of Noel McKay, who's come onto the ground just before the half-time siren. Panetta goes up and under it goes, but it's got the desired effect to Brad Barrett, who's causing a little bit of havoc in this quarter, running unmanned as he comes down again with another short kick, but this time out to Jason Marley, who takes it just inside the boundary. I thought the boundary umpire was signaling it was touch ball, and it went over. Another little kick. So we're going nowhere, George.
Ray, I'm surprised at how much of the game is on that side of the ground when really this is wide open here. No one's prepared to switch play.
Yeah, so Swan juggles the ball but can't hold it long enough to be adjudged a mark. Yes, George, as I say, it's been wide open most of the day, and they have played that negative flank, and it always is a negative side at hands, though, even if there's a slight breeze going into that pocket as it comes in, and Brockman knocks it back of the pack towards Hayden. He's looking towards the centre of the ground, and it's going to go straight to Antonovich. Read the flight of the ball well. Loses his footing going back as he's... Sherwood's leading 10 metres in front, but he goes over his head towards Render. Render knocks it down. Sherwood overruns the ball. In comes... Well, something must have happened off play there. I didn't see that. George, did you pick that one up?
Held on to Sherwood a little long after the ball had passed their little section of play there, Ray.
Okay, the umpire right on the spot there. Mines will be quite happy to have another free kick. They've been a few and far between to a certain extent today, but that's the way the cookie crumbles.
Well, Sherwood, of course, he's leading by example. I think this is important, this kick, captain's kick.
Bomber's length distance might prove a problem here. It looks like he's going for a spiral. No, he's going for the drop punt the way he held it. It's floating any which way you like, but it might just get the distance. The pack is forced underneath the flight of the footy, and goal number 6 on the board, the Mines Rovers. That's a handy one to give them a lead of 14 points, I think it is, George.
Well, someone has to stand up and be counted now, Ray. It's just that type of game, and I guess it's a captain too. And Bomber, well, he did it. It was an awkward-looking kick, but it just made the grade.
Well, those awkward-looking kicks, George, seem to have the desired effect on occasions.
Yeah, well, they seem to get through. It's amazing.
Game about to start once again. Haley in the middle against Fontana. Fontana wins it again as he's done for most of the day. Spilsbury can't gather the bouncing ball. He goes to the ground, and I think we'll have a ball up right on the edge of the square, on the diagonal side of the square, and again towards the scoreboard pocket.
Ray, I think just the defensive attitude of Mines Rovers, just that extra bit of bulk prepared to fall back onto Busselton players is starting to count.
Ball comes out to in the Mines Rovers' advantage. Socket by Ramshaw in towards Mummy, who's been very quiet but very effective as he puts through number 3 for Mines Rovers of his own personal tally. They move to 7 goals, 8.50. Busselton 4 goals, 6.30, and that's a rather sizable lead, even though the conditions are fine and hot.
Well, given the first half of the game, you know, that is a big lead now. We were looking at leads of 1 or 2 points, 8 points, back to 2 or 3 points. Then we went out to 14 points. Now this is a handy lead to Mines Rovers. Can they go on? This is the question.
Tough time whether this heat will affect them, but you always feel a little bit fitter when you're in front. It's a lot harder to chase, especially on these days. Chasing the player with the footy is a lot harder. Up they go again. Haley wins what's the best of that one. Ball comes out to Brown. He has an airy handball. Socket by Haley. Gets the ball into attack. Griffiths. He gets a one-handed hand pass out towards Ramshaw. He can't gather it. Marley's back in there. He holds his head. Goes out, scramble kick out, and Brockman will take this safely on his chest and goes back looking for someone coming past. There's no one there. Out wide goes Brad Barrett to cut off one of the leads. In comes Blair Carter. Knocks it down from behind. Griffiths couldn't take it. In comes Brett Milner. He'll want his left side, and he does. Straightens up, looks down the ground. He sees Maxwell going one way. He doubles back quickly and takes the mark on his chest. But the forward line's a mess. There's not many holes down there to lead into. Harris takes a short one. It'll go over his head, and it does, into the arms of Fair. He's in front. It lost the ball. Bevington puts boot to ball, and Jock Embry takes a slips catch on, and could near on get a kick if Antonovich is not careful here. That was a great mark by Embry.
Yeah, up the field a bit now for Jock. It could make a bit of a difference to Busselton.
Yeah, Lapiti's the one that's gone back into the back line where he started the season.
Yeah,
and that's a great lead by Harry Carter. He's causing all sorts of problems down there, but the only thing we ever got to worry about with Blair is his kicking. It's got an awkward kicking style, but again, as we said about Bomber Sherwood's kick, the floaters can carry the pack. They're very deceiving through the air. Very, very important. Much more important than some of the early ones they missed, but they're all important, I suppose, when it comes to the final countdown at come 5 o'clock. Bevington on the mark. Do his level best to put Blair Carter off. Deliberately comes in, drops the ball onto his boot. It's away to the left-hand side. One behind only, and that puts Busselton on to 4 goals, 7.31, trailing Mines Rovers 7 goals, 8.50 at around about the 10-minute mark of this third quarter. Aaron Marley to bring the ball back into play. All leads appear to be covered. He goes out wide onto the dead flank as usual in this situation. Out Carter and Bevington do battle where the ball comes to the ground. It comes out now, but the umpire's blown. There's a little bit to do down there at where the footy is. Someone doesn't like someone else. Not unusual in a game of footy. Bounce down time. Bevington knocks it over the back towards Marley. A good knock it is. He clears the ball away towards Spilsbury. I said he might take a couple of hangs today, George. He hasn't taken one yet. He's got up high on one occasion. He gets a good left foot of the run of King. If he can get through here, he's on his way. But a head-high tackle by Carter has brought him to the ground. Rinder wants to come in and remonstrate. The umpire tells him to get lost. Keep the footy in control. That's the way to go. You can always fix them up later. Shouldn't say that being a league administrator, should we? We don't want to see anybody Tuesday night. Oh, well, we've got to have some light-heartedness somewhere. It does happen, though, doesn't it? The ball's kicked in short towards Ramshaw, straight over his head, into the arms of Embry. He looks forward towards Carter, and he takes a sliding mark once again in front of Troy Fair, who's been taken off Cook. He must still be on the bench. He goes out wide towards Harris, but the reliable Brad Barrett chips in front, reading the play very, very astutely as always, takes a mark on his chest and delivers it with pinpoint accuracy to Fontana standing up tall out towards the wing. He moves across towards the centre of the ground where Antonovich has had a lot of kicks. He gets down towards Ramshaw. He can't take the bouncing ball. The handball comes out from Miller over to Brett Milner, over to Tuvey. This is Busselton's best type of football, but the short kick is cut off by Marley. He runs onto his left foot, and Rinder and Vaughan Carter. Vaughan Carter reads it better. Handball's long over to Tuvey. This could be a problem for Tuvey. He brilliantly does that along the boundary line. Kicks up towards Noel McKay. He's got a backtrack on his footy. The ball's socked out by somebody. It came off someone's boot. Someone's claiming out on the full, but all to no avail because the boundary umpire is going to throw it in.
Yeah, mine's a little bit wasteful.
Yes, they were then.
In possession inside the centre bounce down area.
Beckett rides over the top of the pack to get a thump forward 20 metres towards McKay. He runs it around the boundary line, can't take it cleanly. He's met there, or side steps away from Vinnie Panetta. He likes it rough and tough, and Beckett doesn't like what he attempted to do, and he goes and tells him, but all the Panetta's liking it, the harder it is, the better he'll have it. Fontana knocks it dangerously into the back of the pack. Marley can't gather it as he's grabbed it. The ball comes over to Jason Marley. He can't take it either as he's slung to the ground. I thought he could have got a free kick, and we'll have a bounce up. There's a little bit going on in the back here, and see the boundary, the emergency umpire going out, and it's Scotty Nicholson's trying to tell Sherwood how to play footy. The more they niggle in, the more Sherwood would like it. Muscle at the bounce down. Carter comes over the top and tries to grab it out of mid-air. Does so and scrambles a kick straight into the back of the pack, and they'll stay where they are and have another try. Well, it looks like Nicholson's gone on the tagging role to Sherwood, who's got better as the game's got longer, George.
Yeah, I think Sherwood's prime for the day. He's doing it fairly coolly. He's had a couple of captain-type shots at goals, and one has come off for him. I think he's just going to stay calm.
Yes, he only needs to point to the scoreboard to show him where he stands. At the present time anyway. Griffiths and Fontana want to outmuscle each other on top of the ball, and they can't, no room to bounce it. Now there is. They part for the bounce, and Fontana wins it. Comes out the back. Antonovich knocks it to his advantage, but it's chipped in by Embry. He swings it back over his right shoulder. This could bounce through. It's just taken a right-hand brain and hit the post. Well, that was a touch unlucky there, George. I thought they could have bounced the right way for him.
Yeah, well, Jock Emery's the difference now, Ray. He's giving Busselton a little bit of chip bite there, and he's prepared to back his judgment, and 2 or 3 sorties of play, he's done it well.
Hasn't done a lot of running, so he should have plenty of run left in his legs, and there goes Barrett again. Geez, he's a good player. Thinking all the time, 2 steps in front of some of the others, I think, as Swan feeds it back up to the run. He's followed up his own kick. That's great running by Barrett. He gets a left foot kick, and that's effective also to Spilsbury. Lions have done this well and got it out, and Barrett is still running right deep into the forward pocket, just showing the character of the man and the fitness he's got. Up towards Rinder. He pulls out of it for Broadbent. The ball comes to ground, taken by Maxwell. He's grabbed it while he's got the foot. He feeds it out towards Tuvey. He just slams it on his boot out towards the boundary line. And I think it's going to run over the line in front of Spilsbury, and it does, and the boundary umpire will take control of the footy.
Although mines have got the height in their favour, it hasn't been an aerial display today, has it? It's been more sort of mopping up type footy from both sides.
Yeah, it has. Besides Carter taking a couple of good ones in the second quarter, it hasn't been a lot of screamers, which we'd expect to have on a day like today. As the hand pass comes to Mines, over to Fontana. He's playing a grand game on the ball as he gets it into the forward pocket towards Mummy. Swan with courage goes back into the oncoming pack, even though it was only 2 players. Lapiti's doing it well with the ball in front of him. Barrett decides to take him out of it and let the ball go over the line and out of bounds for yet another throw in front of Neron, just inside the half-forward flank for Mines Rovers. Great leap by Carter, knocks it towards Maxwell. He can't handle it. Barrett can, handballs to himself, runs it around the boundary line, but runs out of room on this occasion. He was head full of steam on that occasion. If he had got through, it could have been dangerous for the Busselton defence, as the umpire takes his position to return the ball back into play. There it does. It's a two-handed knock by Swan into the advantage of Maxwell. Takes a little bit of time. Takes a little bit of too much time to take it, but is pushed in the back on delivery, and the ball will come back and he'll take a free kick. Here he goes again with his short kick, and this is a very good one up to Mark Harris, who takes it on his chest. He swings around and kicks it longer towards Brett Milner, cutting in towards the half-forward line, but cruising through the back there was Aaron Marley. Not Aaron Marley, Brad Marley has taken a great mark. Feeds it out to King. He gives it to Bevington. Bevington does finesses around with King. King, a little kick in towards Ramshaw. One step he's off. He doesn't know which way to go. He's going to get around Miller. He uses his pace to advantage down towards Broadbent at the back. He's got his name on this one. He can't get to the flight of the ball. Rinder's in front here with the footy. He couldn't take it. He takes one with him as he cops one as he comes through the pack. Marley follows up and kicks it back into towards Broadbent. Hayden over the back has given a great spoil but hurt himself as he's hit the deck and the ball comes out to Maxwell. He's not looking too good, Hayden, as the ball continues out towards the wing. Harry Carter says, leave it with me, I'm having it, and he goes to ground with it. He tries to sidestep. Hand pass, which is a good one over to Mackay. He's a left footer. He's looking into a forward to attack, and I think Harris will just about get to this one. He's going to keep running into an open goal, and he's drilled it through for Busselton's 5th goal of the game. They move to 5 goals, 8, 38. They're only 12 points behind Mines Rovers, 7 goals, 8, 50.
Much needed goal for Busselton. Did it well, recovered off the half-back line. Mines Rovers again trying to do too much perhaps with the ball.
Oh, once again we find the situation where the side who's trailing comes back with a vengeance. A great time to get a goal as the ball comes back into play. It's knocked by Carter. He's playing a Sterling game. It's fumbled there by Brown. Tuvey puts his hands over it and gets swung away from it and decides to put the slipper into it. Brown goes in with a heavy tackle on the Mines Rovers player, and I reckon that's Sherwood at the bottom of the pack. And so it is. Right where he loves it. At ground level. The ruck's in favour of Fair. He gets a little knock in towards Tuvey. Tuvey says, get out of the way, I'm coming through. Again onto his left foot. Out towards Beckett and Panetta. This will be a good duel. Panetta wins and he's tackled there, but he's got the backup from Mackay. Has his obligatory bounce. Looks towards goals. It's a terrible kick from Mackay, and 1 point is the result. 11 points the difference. Busselton 5-9, 39. Mines Rovers 7-8, 50.
Jock, Emery and Mackay are starting to give a little bit here for Busselton, a little bit more nippiness.
A lucky mark, well not a lucky mark. Antonovich had to go to ground to take that on his chest. In a dangerous position, kicks long to Fair. He's on his own, uncontested. And he takes it and settles the side down. He's looking further ahead. Spilsbury's coming forward, as is Rinder. Rinder gets a little shove forward. Carter's taken from behind. That's a good tackle. Unrewarded, says the umpire, because we'll have a bounce down. Not too happy, Spilsbury, with that decision. It doesn't matter what you say, it isn't going to change. No. We're back into it again. Great knock by Rinder. Goes forward towards the half-forward line. Carter shepherds for Hayden, who's heads straight for the boundary line with a little kick that just about makes it across the line and out of bounds.
Back on his feet after a heavy knock, Ray.
Yeah, you don't want to go off in these types of games, do you? You want to be out there to the finish. Ball comes back into play. Fontana and Miller. Line ball decision again. Miller comes back with a great tackle on Marley, as does Fontana on Hayden, I think it is.
2 Mines Rovers players to 1 Busselton.
The ball wasn't going to come out of there by any shape or means. We're back into it again as the ball's back into play. Marley has to knock it forward towards Sherwood. He runs straight into Embry and loses the control of the footy, and we'll have yet another throw in on the members' side of the wing.
Well, the game's still fairly stodgy.
Again, nothing in it. 11 points. Fontana and Miller. Fontana backhands it his way. That's a good decision, or a good knock, as Spilsbury goes to ground, and on the bottom of the pack is Jock Embry and Bomber Sherwood once again doing some heavy work. Warren puts it to the ground again. Out towards Carter. He can't control as he runs off. The ball goes underneath the Mines player. Feeds it out towards Barrett. Barrett's knocked out towards Carter. Carter gets his kick into play. Only as far as Aaron Marley. That was a valiant effort to mark. Could have been paid. Harris runs into a dead end. Gets a boot the ball in favour of Mackay. He'll pick this up, one grab. Should get a hand pass over to Brown. No, takes his bounce. He's had 2 in 2 metres. And a little kick in towards Michael Carter. Only to see Marley. Brad, that is this time, chipping in front of him. He takes it, and Busselton continually to kick short.
And playing well, isn't he, Ray?
He's cut a number of attacks
Yes.
down on his own bat. Out this way towards Brad Barrett's going to have to fly against. Oh, Miller's taken a one-hander. Yes, the umpire will play that one, and so he should. No one on the mark. Yes, there is. Barrett's decided to try and crib about 7 metres. Good thinking. Play on. The umpire said you can have 50 for not coming back quick enough.
Gee, it's It's costly stuff, that, for Mines. So they've let 3 go that I can recall, maybe even 4.
4, including the one that was a goal anyway in the end. But, gee, I don't know if it's hard or not. He wasn't moving too quick to come back. Maybe we couldn't hear what the umpire was telling him. But let it be. Mines Rovers, 60 metres out. Miller's looking for someone. A little kick up towards Quinton Brown. He's taken it on his chest over the back of Jason Marley, who couldn't get back quick enough to cover him.
Brown's gone up to the forward line.
He's going to steady the game down. Going by his previous kicking earlier in the game, George, I doubt if he'd get that distance.
Yeah, well, this is once again one of those situations where a player has to develop instantly, I'd say, and make it for his team.
He kicks from 48 metres, and he certainly makes a distance to his side, but it's out of bounds on the full. Again, losing direction with trying to get the extra distance. And once again, Marley will bring it into play. Jason this time. It's a long bomb. Up towards Fontana. Miller flies high, as does Carter. And Harry Carter's taken a quick handball over to Tuvey, who sets it up for McKay right at centre half forward. And he's 48 metres out. Will kick from in excess of 50. Again, I think he's just that touch too much out.
Busselton's little men working a lot harder, Ray.
Nicholson's going to make a little lead just in forward. He's been picked up by Sherwood. But no, he's not confident in his own ability here. He's going to go short. No, he's going to go long. Then he goes short again. And he's found Mark Maxwell. That's very lax marking by Antonovich, I'd say it was, or King. King this time.
Yeah, Sherwood was close by as well.
Yeah, he went forward a little bit to cover Nicholson, and that left a little gap in which Maxwell was left on his own. Instead of standing toe-to-toe as all defenders should, or even wingmen when necessary.
Michael Carter coming off now.
I'd say Cookie will go back on. We'll have a look at the shot on goal by Maxwell. I think he's pulled it. No, he hasn't. The crowd says it's home. That's Busselton back in the ball game. 6 goals, 9, 45. Trail by 5 points. Mines Rovers leading 7 goals, 8-50.
Yeah, quality goals these, Ray. You know, I really think it's Busselton's little man brigade that is starting to sort of make some commitment to the game. Jock Emery and McKay, they're putting in, and a couple of nice telling marks by Harry Carter, and that was pretty good work by Maxwell when it came to be counted.
So let's notice a Collie Male medalist in Kane Saunders has just come on the ground for his first run in the grand final. Let's hope he's not overawed by the situation and puts in for his side. As the ball comes to ground, Miller's in the middle there. Ball comes up in the air. Tuvey decides to take it. Weaves and ducks and gets it onto his right foot. The ball's in dispute in the centre half forward. In comes Brett Milner. Can't find the handler. He's taken to ground. Socket by Tuvey, to the fortune of Noel McKay. He runs to 47. Has a look on goal, and I think he's drilled this one too. And he has, according to the goal umpire, and that puts Busselton in front. 7 goals, 9, 51. Mines Rovers, 7 goals, 8, 50. And it's a 3-goal comeback, and someone's not happy in the middle with Mines.
Yeah, well, Mines Rovers just let it go a little bit, and as we say, the smaller players of Busselton, they're responding under instruction, no doubt, and it's starting to happen for Busselton. This is interesting because both sides now are very much in the balance just before three-quarter time.
Broadbent back onto the ball with Miller. Wins what? Oh, Tuvey's come into it. No. Mines could be losing their cool here. I mean, it's another 50-metre penalty, and I think the umpire's right out of the question in that one. That was the second one. He got tackled high, but it was in the act of the umpire blowing the whistle, and I just don't think this one's warranted if the others were.
Well, you know, this is the nature of the game now, Ray. You know, a little bit of emotion, a little bit of pressure, I guess, and then an umpire's keenness to prevail, and another 50-metre penalty.
Yes, as we said, they're all very costly. Tuvey lines up from about 40 metres. The ball's fading over the left. In fact, he's going to be lucky to score here. It's out on the full, and I suppose Mines Rovers say that's justice.
Yeah, well, Mines Rovers really need to recover this and go back down there into the ground and try and do business as well.
The ball's got to come back and kick over the mark. He's been given a little bit of latitude to get his kick in.
Busselton have done well to get themselves back into the game. It was looking a little bit sus there for a 10 or 15 minute margin.
We're at the 26-minute mark, and it's a long kick out of defence. Broadbent tries to take it one-handed, can't do so. In comes Brunton. He overruns the ball as he tries to slap it towards the boundary line. He's done nothing today. Comes out to the Marley, Brad Marley. He gets a scrambly kick up towards the wing, and Vaughan Carter was claimed, and the ball fell out of his hands into over the line for a throw-in as Jason Mummy decides is leading the ground, and Brett Earl will come on and for his second run today. He wasn't out there for that long. Miller takes it out of the ground, out of the air, and kicks straight to centre half forward. Brett Milner was in an awkward position. He's given the ball a slap and missed it, and given Aaron Marley one around the mouth. He's not happy with that as Brett Earl comes on, fumbles what he should have taken cleanly. Mines are in trouble here as Milner slaps it forward, and the ever reliable Sherwood picks it up, gets it out wide towards Antonovic and Lapudi. Antonovic has got front position here. He loses control from behind, and Antonovic will take a free kick, and so he should. Well, the crowd's getting right in amongst this lot now, making some atmosphere around the ground. Zappy, as they call him, kicks down towards Brett Earl. He's in behind Lapudi. Lapudi can't mark it. Jason Marley scrambles the ball down half forward and in front of him, trying to force the ball forward, and results in a pack situation. And once again, the umpire will bounce the ball down. As he does, Miller and Broadbent. Broadbent wins clearly, only to Busselton's advantage. Nicholson just handballs willy-nilly. The ball comes out to Sherwood. Sherwood knocks it volleyball style towards Rinder. He can't pick it up. He's overrun the ball. Mines have done that a little bit this quarter. His toe pokes it out to his own advantage. He's running around in circles. He wants to handball. Now he's back onto his left. And as a left, it's a scrambly kick, and it's just about stays in play and then rolls over the line in front of Todd Haley and goes over the line out of bounds, where he'll do battle with his old opponent in Fontana.
Only moments to go now, Ray. I'd say to three-quarter time. It's important now that Eagles make something of this little position.
Yeah, the ball's in their forward line. They need to make something, and I'd say that's worth a freak. Wow. I won't comment on that one, but Miller doesn't look all that crash hot in the hands of the trainers for Busselton there. But
just a bit unfortunate, I think, for Mines. The umpires have missed one or two, Ray, I would say. Yeah, Miller's not looking good, distinctly off colour.
Three-quarter time sees 1 point the difference. You couldn't ask for it any closer. Busselton 7 goals, 9.51. Mines Rovers 7 goals, 8.50, and Mines Rovers are very unhappy with that non-decision right on the siren against where a kick should have gone to Rinder. Well, as we say, we couldn't have got it any closer, Steve. What a fantastic game of footy we've got at the present time.
Yeah, it is, Ray, for sure and certain. Until those last two goals from Maxwell and McCaig for Busselton, Harris and Griffith were the only two goal kickers for him, so George was good that they actually finally got someone else to get a couple on the board for him.
Yeah, I think it was the good work being done now by Jock Emery further up the field, and McKay too, and I think that they're just giving a little bit out of the small man brigade, and they've got the experience. They have to deliver now.
Well, that was a great move, because I thought Lapidi shut down Mummy, and Mummy ended up coming off the ground. I don't think he's quite right, though. He limped off the ground, but some interesting things there. But yeah, Emery certainly in the middle. It was a quiet opening, and then Sherwood and Mummy again kicked two consecutive goals to break it open. All of a sudden, Mines were 20 in front, and Busselton really had to work hard to get back. But a good goal to Harris, and McCaig was actually a very, very big player for Busselton in that quarter, wasn't he?
And I think too, Steve, like you say, it doesn't take long for sides to re-establish themselves in this close-knit type game. What they've got to do is, what Busselton have been prepared to do, is make some changes. To be fair to Mines Rovers, they've worked hard in big numbers. Gee, this game now is really testing.
Well, I thought some quietly effective players for Busselton as well, with Brett Milner and also Michael Miller. I thought he came into the game, although he got a nasty knock there a little late in the quarter. But they did some big things, and also Rick Tuvey, who really came back into the game as well, and he's probably racked up a fair few possessions now. Yeah,
well, it's time for these boys to do it, Steve, really. I mean, they've come to us from other leagues, and, we expect it of them, and really, if they're worth their mettle, they're just going to have to do it. That's it. Likewise for Mines, they should develop this game.
It was interesting that they left Broadbent off the ball for so long. I thought he had good impact when he was coming in the first 2 quarters, at sort of halfway through the quarters coming on the ball, but I really think they lacked his drive. But, you know, Sherwood's still acting as a great leader for them, I think.
Well, I said to Ray earlier in that quarter that Sherwood actually stood up well as a captain when he had to steady himself and take a kick from a fair way out with a wobbly ball. He cleared and got him a goal up. I think it's time now for captains. It's time now for senior players to stand up and be counted. I think that Busselton really need a little bit more movement, I suppose, from Cookie and Griffiths when you look back on it for named and talent. But then again, they're there and the quarter's there too, so it'll be interesting.
Well, that was another interesting thing that Cook and Rattray spent all that quarter on the bench. Cook spent most of it, but Blair Carter continued to take some great grabs and some thrilling stuff for the crowd there. But I thought another quietly effective player for the Maggies was Jason Hayden in defence too. Did some good things there.
Well, Jason collected a hard one, didn't he, and sort of wobbled there for a little while. And then 5-6 minutes later, he was back into play along this member's side of the field. Yeah, that's the stuff. I think the game is tough. And, gee, I don't know. I thought maybe Busselton would outrun them. But Mines, to their credit, have stuck to sort of like giving numbers around about the middle of the ground, prepared to run off other players. And, gee, it's 2 different types of team play, really, in a close margin.
Well, Mines have still got players like Barrett and Sherwood and also Ramshaw in the middle of the ground who can certainly run with Busselton. Yeah. I'm sure they're not going to run out of legs. But, you know, Busselton have turned around. I think it's up to Mines now. They really Mines really have to dig deep to fix it back up, don't they?
Yeah, I reckon that nearly 3-goal margin was very, very comfortable for Mines in the conditions of the day. But, you know, to give credit, Busselton's come back. This is interesting, really interesting. I do expect Mines, though, to go on and play some good football just the same.
I think it'll be a burster to the siren.
30 minutes of football left in the 1996 grand final as Mines Rovers win the knock with through Broadbent. It only goes as far as Embry. Embry gets it over towards Lapidi. I think handball's over towards Brett Milner. Over to Maxwell. Maxwell over to Miller, who's recovered from the heavy knock he got. Down to centre forward goes the footy. Reaching over the back is Rinda, who's gone into defence. Cook lopes out after the ball, takes the footy and hand passes to no one. Brad Barrett's going to take it. He's going to go out wide. No, he dummies around one. Has a bounce. Looks to centre forward. Broadbent's halfway there, takes the mark. He gives it back to Barrett. He's got the run for Mines Rovers and feeds it out to Brett Earl. But it's taken by Rattray, knocked forward by him. Hayden's in the clash there. Up goes Brett Barrett again. Out comes that man Rattray, who loves it tough. He gets the ball out towards the wing where puts Milner's back on the ground. The legs are coming back for Busselton in this tight game of football as it goes over towards Beckett. Beckett handballs in towards Tuvey. He's had a great third quarter. Started the last in scintillating fashion his way towards Harry Carter, but it's spoiled by Brunton. And the ball rolls over the line and out of bounds right in front of the scoreboard that shows the Busselton Magpies 1-point leaders over the Mines Rovers Eagles. And again, we can gather our breath as a frantic opening for the last 30 minutes of football in the southwest this year. As the ball comes back into play, barring a draw, of course. We come back next week. Broadbent knocks it forward. It goes over towards Beckett. He knocks it forward towards Carter. Carter soccers it to Griffiths. He appeals for the mark. Play on, says the umpire. Nobody can take the ball in the pack. It comes out to Brunton. Brunton gets a kick from one standing start over towards Embry. He chops the tackle of Saunders. Fakes a dummy and comes back onto his right foot and drills it down towards Carter. He slips at the psychological moment. Doesn't want to get up off the ground. That allows Ramshaw in. He gets an easy kick up towards Spilsbury, who takes a great mark. Not a great one by his standards, but a good mark as far as Mines Rovers is concerned. He goes back. Kicks high and a little bit underneath it as Rattray runs underneath this. He'll mark this easily and pushes Saunders out of the way. Hand pass to Hayden. Hayden onto his left foot down to Beckett. Beckett takes it and falls to the ground behind Spilsbury, who was underneath the flight of the ball. Carrying just a little bit in mind Busselton's favour, I'd feel, as he gets the ball towards Brunton. He's pushed out by Carter. The ball comes towards the boundary line. Over there was Harris. He couldn't take the ball. Brunton can. Good hand pass to Broadbent, who hasn't taken the ball cleanly at all day, and a wobbly old kick falls into the safe arms of Lucas Ramshaw. He squares off in towards the middle towards Antonovich. He doesn't. Then he looks forward down to centre forward, and Brad Marley's taken it on the left foot. He swings it out wide to Antonovich, who's just in time, and Maxwell couldn't quite get underneath it, and he's dumped him, and this is a certain goal.
It's happened, Ray. It's happened. You know, there have been so many of these sorts of things all day for Busselton, good or bad, and now, of course, this is not an equaliser, but it is a 50-minute penalty.
Well, that it is, and as we said earlier, that things do tend to change throughout a game of football. And it was a silly thing to do by Maxwell. I mean, you're never ever going to get the footy back. It was a clean mark, and he's virtually given away a goal because Antonovich would not have got the distance from there. Because he's at the 10-metre square, and he drills it over the top, right up towards the cars coming out of the ground. I don't know what for at this exciting stage of the game. Mines Rovers take back the lead. 8 goals, 8.56. Busselton, 7 goals, 9.51.
Tight stuff, Ray. You know, I mean, 50-metre penalties, they're bloody cruel, but at the same time, you know, they're delivered. There's no question that you should ask of an umpire because he's just likely to do that.
Well, it's the same umpire that's paid him all day, and it was obvious he had no choice but to pay it after what he'd done early in the game. So, as we say, a silly move, but frustration can get you that way as the ball comes in with another thump by Broadbent, only as far as Tooby. He gets tackled by Broadbent, who follows up the hard ball, and as it's swung out of the pack, the umpire has blown the whistle in midstream and will have it back into the centre of the ground as Blair Carter goes and has a bit of kicking practice. That's the best one he's done all day.
Yeah, well, there's plenty of time now for this game to recover that from Mark Maxwell. Plenty of time.
Well, there is, and I've seen Mines Rovers on numerous occasions this year, and they have never thrown the towel in, and I don't think they ever will with a coach like Russell Sparks.
Yep.
Broadbent again wins an easy tap hidden his way. It doesn't go direct to a man, but it goes to Brad Marley, who's probably close to their best along with Brad Barrett. The ball runs out of Saunders' way, but he doesn't get out of the way of Rat Ray. He ties it up with Rat Ray and keeps it in the forward line, which is a great effort by the youngster.
Yeah, he did it well. He wasn't going to be put off, was he? Rat Ray was coming along like the Bondi tram.
And Rat Ray doesn't go around corners. A great knockdown to Spilsbury. He's put it onto his right boot. This is fading away over towards the pocket, and Brett Earl, who wouldn't have been inside for mine, but Russell Sparks knows a little bit more about football than I do, I grant, and he knows better. Must mention Margaret River had the catering today. They've made a squillion out of the tent up behind play here as the ball comes to the front of the pack. Jason Marley can't get it out. Spilsbury's looking for a free kick, but Brockman picks it up and streaks away from the pack. I'll have the footy, he says, up towards Bomber Sherwood. Great duel with Milner at the moment. In comes Maxwell. He's about to make amends, gets the ball forward, and I think he was caught high and could take a free kick here as Bomber Sherwood, in his endeavours to attack him, fell over the top of his shoulders.
Maxwell redeeming himself here at this stage. Worked hard, and Bomber was a little bit careless, perhaps.
A little bit over-exuberant, but if you get a tackle from Bomber, you know you've had it. Again, Maxwell goes short to the run of Beckett. He misses what he should have taken. Picked up and cleanly by King, and a great delivery over to Spilsbury. He's going to run onto his left foot. I thought he should have gone back on that one, and he's kicked it out of bounds on the full, and he'll rue the fact that he never went back. No, he's cooked the point. Well, I'll retract those comments. He's got a score.
Yep, that gives him 6 points.
As much as we like revenue in the Southwest, I don't know if I want to come back for another one next week. Can always increase my wages, George, if they do. An extra week's work. Rat Ray brings the ball into play. I'll agree with that. And Jock Embry's taken a screamer over the front, but it hasn't. It's been paid to Harris. So Harris has taken it. The crowd thought, along with me, that Embry had it, but he's run away, having the content that his team has got the ball, and he's going to run onto the loose ball here. Shirks around the time and could have got a kick there, but no, says the umpires. Barrett tackles him, throws in the ground. It's gone forward, back to centre forward for Mines. Big Fontana's staggered into the back of Haley, and he doesn't get a kick. Play on, calls the umpire. The ball runs out the back to Rat Ray, using his experience to mop up. He goes out to Harris, is a long way from home. Spilsbury's chasing him. Harris tries to get around him. He's dragged to the ground. He gets a hand pass in, but there's no support from Busselton. Aaron Marley picks up from his left foot and drills it goal after a great effort from Harris to put him off his kick, and that's another point on the board to put Mines Rovers 7 points in front from memory. Is that right, George?
Yeah, that's it, Ray.
8 goals, 10-58. Busselton 7-9-51 in a never-say-die game, and neither side will lay down, and you wouldn't expect them to in a grand final. Rat Ray brings it into play to a loose player in Brockman. Brockman has Marley, who's gone into attack on his mark. He kicks out towards the wing, towards Carter, who's gone into the forward line. Vaughan Carter. He had to knock from... I missed that one. I think it was he knocked it. Jock Embry slung to the ground by one end by Big Bebbington. The ball comes out to Vaughan Carter. He squares it off towards Griffiths in the middle, but he does the right thing, leaves it to Beckett. Beckett gets a little hand pass out to Griffiths, who was great in the first quarter. He kicks it down towards Mackay. He shepherds out Vinnie Panetta to let Justin Cook Another Haywards medalist take the mark on his chest some 35 metres out from goal. He's about directly in front near on. And I would hazard as a guess that with my knowledge, George, that Justin Cook will still match a battle to make the distance.
Well, it's another one of those key players situations, Ray. He really has to deliver. I mean, he's inside 50. He can kick a ball. Let's go for it.
He's got up and underneath this one. It's going to make the distance. He's made a liar out of me. They always do. And Busselton are only 1 point behind. 8 goals, 9, 57. Mines Rovers, 8 goals, 10, 58. And what a ball game we have.
Yeah, this is the same as the other two grand finals, Ray. You know, it's nip and tuck stuff. You know, it's only a kick or two away from a victory now.
Always prove you wrong, and I reckon I was a reasonable judge. Cookie, I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, well, Cookie needed to do it. It hasn't been a big day for Cookie today.
The ball's back in action, favours Fontana, knocks it down to Sherwood. He's beset upon, but gets his kick in, only to see Brett Miller in advance in the front. He takes the ball in his chest and runs onto his favoured left foot, out towards Harry Carter. He drops the ball as he dives in towards it, couldn't quite hold it, and the ball trickles over the line and out of bounds for yet another throw-in on the members' stand of on the Tans Oval. Into play comes the footy. Fontana, Miller, and a good knock from Carter goes forward. McKay won't run onto that one with Barrett in hot pursuit, as the ball once again will be thrown into play.
I think it's the little blokes that are doing it for Busselton, you know, where Busselton had that little bit of a disadvantage on the scoreboard. It's the little fellas that have come up to the game, and we've seen even Jock make a fantastic attempt at marking a moment or two ago.
Ball's into play, and knocked down by Fontana, was taken by Puss Milner as he gets the ball into the danger area for Mines Rovers, but Vinnie Panetta's true to the occasion. He comes out, the umpire's in the way, holding the ball that screens the crowd. Play on, says the umpire, and another pack develops, and we'll have another bounce down. About 40 metres out on a 45-degree angle from the Busselton goal, and the scoreboard shows Mines Rovers one solitary behind in front.
Desperate as all day, Ray. The game hasn't changed that tempo. It's just been desperate from both good teams.
Miller and Fontana. Fontana gets it down to Carter. Carter scrambles it and forward, only to see Rinder knock the ball right out of the way of Barrett's arms. Great defensive punch, destroy the ball hard into the boundary. That's how all coaches like to see it destroyed. Throw in time once again. Griffiths is in the front. Fontana is there along with Carter. Over towards McKay. He breaks one tackle, feeds it, gets rid of the footy in a hurry, as does Beckett. Gives it over to Rinder. Rinder's looking as if he wants all day, runs around in a circle, handballs over to Laputi. Laputi can get onto his left foot here, falls over as he's kicking, only to see Justin Cook falling to his knees to take a mark 20 metres out. Very little angle to speak about, and Mines Rovers are panicking.
Well, there you are, Ray. You know, Cookie hasn't done a lot today, and just those last two grabs is what a side and a coach and a team needs. And, you know, I mean, this might just be the breaking of Mines. Although there's plenty of time and they have come back before. But this is Busselton's turn now to take a lead of some margin.
Slight that it will be. Straight through the middle from Justin Cook. Busselton, 9 goals, 9, 63. Mines Rovers, 8 goals, 10, 58. And that one was probably one of the easier ones that scrambled forward by Busselton, but Mines Rovers were running around in circles with the footy instead of clearing it out with a long kick. Brunton's just come off the ground. I didn't see who went back on then.
No, I didn't either, Ray.
I think it's Mikulak, was it 24, has come on for his first run. He's gone out on that big contract for which has got faith in his players.
Yeah, 5 points to margin now, Ray. It's real exciting stuff, as it has been all day long.
Bounced down by Warren. Fontana's done a sterling job in the ruck today. Marley couldn't take the ball cleanly. He goes to ground and stacks on the mill as the rest of them come in. Fontana's geeing his players up. Come on, boys, he said. Let's get in, or let's get that ball forward at all costs. Put the body on the line. This is it. Round to the final siren, down to the ball line gun, this will go. No real clear winner in the knockout. It comes out to Embry. He's thrown to the ground by Ramshaw, and the umpire says Jock have a free kick for too high. Time to get the second wind. Jock decides to go long and direct. It's a wobbly old torpedo, not like the spirals he used in kicking out from goal. Up towards Lapudi. The ball comes down to Brett Puss Milner, smothered by that man Barrett. He, for once, fumbles the football, tried to take it one hand when it should have been two. Ball comes back out to him and he's followed up his own ball and balks once onto his left foot and down towards Marley and Harris. Harris spoils from behind. Marley's got the recovery. Slips as the ball, as he comes, tries to pick it up. Harris is all over the top of him, socket into the arms of Hayden. Comes out to down the middle with his left foot. Finds Miller at centre half back on his own. Handballs over to Brockman, who's running onto his left foot, the preferred one that he uses. Over towards Harry Carter, pushed in the back by Michalak, right in front of the umpire. Experience of Blair Carter, stopped and propped, and the Mines Rovers bloke put his hands right in the middle of his back. I've seen one side get a run on and the other one come back. Can Mines come back? Ball goes in towards centre half forward, and there's a bit of holding going on, and Antonovic will take the free kick. The ball's straight to him and he's off with a bounce. He's had one, he's had two. Will he get Will Miller shepherding? He's fumbled the ball. He spins out of trouble, then gets a kick up to anybody, and it's Brockman in the way, but no talking there from Carter. Both of them mess it up. There's a chance for Jason Marley. He runs onto the ball. He's trying to drag the players forward. He's got around one player. He's got around the second. Over to Kane Saunders, having his first kick in the grand final, and it looks like being a good one towards Broadbent. He's hung on to this one, and it's a good delivery. Can Broadbent now turn the fortunes around? 5 points of difference.
Well, again, Ray, another key player. This is what they've got them for. This is his position. This is the way he has to do it for the team. You know, this is interesting, real interesting. Can he? I think he can.
It's long, and it's the wind's got it, and it's straight through the middle. Mines Rovers back in front. 9 goals, 10-64. Busselton, 9 goals, 9-63.
Well, as a coach, you know, you'd have to expect him to get it. That's what you got them there for. And this nature of this game is that the big-name players just have to deliver. It's as simple as that. If they're not delivering, you know, there's always a breakdown in the whole issue.
Oh, George, I said on radio prior to coming on that the last two grand finals in 95 and 94 were excellent games of football, hard and tough, no different to this. I said this one would be close, so I've got something wrong.
Yeah, you have, and I'm sort of proud from a coaching angle that I've been involved in one of them, Ray. It hasn't been easy to lose, but at the same time to see a game like this from another perspective and see just the same margin in it, boy, it must have been great, 94-95.
Well, Harris has gone to ground when he slipped. Marley's come in and unfortunately taken him across the top of the head. Whereas, unfortunately, he probably lost his footing at the same time. But irrespective of, as I say, it's a head-eye tackle and they should all be paid at all times. Harris goes for the long kick. They're tonguing it out there. It's dropping short, but the only one who won it was Tuva. He ran past King, who was waiting for the flight of the ball. 3-on-1. Shepherd him out, they said. He has to go for the boundary line, where he couldn't get around the players to get the ball and keep it in play. They are. King does very well in a tight situation. He bounces it, could have been grabbed, it would have been holding the ball. Michalak takes the ball and he's delivered it pretty well to Aaron Marley, who's cleaned up by Todd Alien. He ran straight and he never made the ball his object at any stage. And Jason Marley's feeling the strain of that one.
Yeah, it was a heavy one coming in from the side just at the time that it counted. I think Harris was committed to that. And Marley too, he was committed to marking the ball. Well, just one of the features of the great game, Ray.
Yeah, it was. I suppose you expect those to a certain degree in football, but Marley, as tough as nails. Not a lot of him, but he's tough, like most of the Mines Rovers players.
And
he'll love it.
Just as keen to get the ball, you know, no one flinching an inch, and there you go. That's it.
As you say, as a coach, George, is what you love to see.
Yep.
2 steps and he's gone for goal. It's going to fade. Broadbent's there. Spilsbury tries to get the ride. He misses that. And it trickles over for one behind to give Mines Rovers a 2-point lead. 9 goals, 11-65. Busselton, 9 goals, 9-63.
Plenty of time left in the game. Plenty of time.
Brett Milner brings the ball into play, and Jock Embry's opened up a big break here as the players come down on him. He's got to go for the wing. Vaughan Carter's racing against time to get to it. He can't get to it. He bangs it in and he's grabbed by Bebbington.
Von Carter still running on, Ray.
Oh, he's played a grand game, Fontana.
Meeting with little Jock Emery there. He wasn't as nimble or as fast or near it, but he was prepared to run a long distance.
Yeah, the heart's as big as a man. He knocks it forward. Ramshaw can't keep control of the ball, and he's forced it over the line in conjunction with Vaughan Carter.
Yeah, this is a hard job, this game, you know. I mean, both sides are giving plenty of that.
No place for the faint-hearted. Another ball slapped forward by Fontana to Ramshaw. He hooks it inboard. Embry couldn't get to the ball. Kane Saunders gets rid of Rattray. He lays over the top of the ball, and the rest of them come in on top of him. I'll say the umpire says, let me have it.
Yeah, Saunders not giving over. He's prepared to run it with Rattray. Rattray runs in straight lines, and Saunders is prepared to stand there against him.
Yeah, not to be intimidated. Great stuff by the young player. The ball comes down towards Ramshaw. He's trying to work his way through the pack with a bit of support from his players, and the ball trickles over the line and out of bounds once again. Georgia just looking forward up near the Mines Rovers bench. There's little kids sitting on the sitting on the boundary right in front of everybody, in front of adults who can't get rid of them, won't move them. It's a dangerous situation. Over comes Antonovich from the back of the pack. He tries to backhand it, but misses it. Over to that man, Barrett. He's been legged. No, he hasn't. He's been holding the ball, according to the umpire. I thought the tackle was a little bit too low there, George.
Well, it seemed from where we were standing, Ray, that it was. It was just one of those things, I suppose, where Barrett was trying to do too much and Jock was prepared to run with him.
He's kicked long and towards Ramshaw, playing in front, takes a mark on his chest.
Mark Ramshaw.
The place to be now. You must be in front of it, getting close to the 19-minute mark of the last quarter. Fontana's just about out on his feet, but he won't lay down and die. He'll give it another 10 minutes.
Saunders had right away, I thought, but Fontana obviously didn't hear and went through, just touched ball out of bounds.
The voice has to be loud at this stage of the game to get across the crowd. In we go again, Fontana Miller. Fontana wins the best of it. Jock Embry spins neatly out of trouble. Over to Milner, uses his first 5 or 10 yards of pace to get out of trouble. Drives it towards the middle of the ground. Blair Carter and Michalak, they both let the ball go in their duel. Picked up by Marley, handball at the back towards Sherwood. He steadies for that one step. Looks at the man my opinion's best man on the ground, Brad Barrett. He's in a bundle of kicks and most of them have been effective. He goes short again, it might be too short. No, it's not.
Oh, shit. Got to get it up there if they want to be in the game.
The number of possessions, you'll lose it. Ramshaw's looking short also. He goes a little bit longer than what the other one was, and Spilsbury will mark this on his chest. Great aerial of Spilsbury.
Yeah, well, there again, you know, we just have to make sure that that we keep it exciting, Ray. This is exciting. We don't have to work that hard for it.
Broadbent's come from the back of the pack. The chip in front of the rest of the pack, and has taken another strong mark. And this is about the place where he kicked the last one from, although he's just a little bit tighter angle.
Yeah, Ray, I'm not going to alter my opinion. You know, these guys have got to kick him, and I'm sure he can make the distance, and I'm pretty sure that he'll be direct too.
Russell Sparks trying to keep his men with a bit of legs. Broadbent's kicked it across the face of the goal. Spilsbury's down there. He could mark this. He near on does with 2 grabs. Barrett tries to squeeze it out, but it comes out to Embry and on big long one onto his boot. We've got 3 on 2 with Sherwood in control of the footy. He needs a bit more support. Gets a long hand pass over to Antonovich, who gives it back to Sherwood. He kicks from 45 metres. It's going into the square. Who's going to take the mark? No one. It's off hands and through for yet another behind.
Yeah, well, captain's game. This is really tight stuff. Busselton is still prepared to back their judgment. Little Jock Emery coming out of the full back line there to clear, and taken by Sherwood with another player in his favour. Jock again.
Brett Milner gets it to the run of Embry. He keeps running with the footy and up towards Beckett, who should mark this, and had Panetta out of position. He gets a wobbly kick up towards Griffiths. Spoilt by Rinder. Vaughan Carter comes through. Does a little bit too much. Now gets it over towards Griffiths. He scrambles it up to Lapudi. Lapudi can't control the footy and goes to the ground. Bomber Sherwood meets him head on. Picked up by Carter. Then it gives over to Bebbington. Bebbington grabs the kick out to Antonovich, puts it up and down in the air, and Mark Harris runs onto it.
22 and a half minutes by the look, Ray.
We're getting down to the real nail-biting stuff. The ball's with Jason Hayden in the centre of the ground. He gets it towards the Carter. He runs over and under it. Vaughan Carter to the bounce of Griffiths. Griffiths a handball over to Paul Milner up towards Cook, who's got 2 down there. In the side comes Blair Carter. He couldn't take the mark and goes to the ground. He's still there. Noel McKay can't pick it up. And Brad Barrett in his exuberance has taken Peter Beckett around the head as he's tried to prop around him. He slipped and went underneath the tackle and unfortunately copped him around the ear roll, and that's the free kick. Three points of difference.
Well, here's a young, unrated player, you would say, you know, compared to the others that have been kicking the ball. There, you see what he can do as a youngster.
Not a bad effort from a youngster. His first goal of the afternoon. That puts Busselton 3 points in front. No, I haven't waited for him to put the scoreboard up on that score on the board. 10 goals, 9, 69 Busselton. 9 goals, 12, 66 Mines Rovers. 3 points the other way now. Can Mines get the energy to come back?
Both benches are jumping, Ray. There's lots of instructions, lots of messages running hither-thither. I really think that both teams still have their chances, no doubt about that, for energy. This is a hard job now.
Virtually time on period of the game. Fontana and Miller. Fontana again, only to see it's shark by Tuvey. Tuvey gets it to Embry. Embry over to Noel Mackay. He'll have his bounce. He's going to run to 50. He's gone to 50. He's got a wobbly old kick. Cook's behind. He's taken the mark. No, he hasn't. The ball's hit the point post and we'll have a throw in the right forward pocket for Busselton.
Busselton are sensing something here. Mines are working hard. Barrett, unfortunate there when he laid the tackle on. You know, these things now are just marginal. Time ticks by.
Nothing in it. One kick. Panetta tries to break the tackle. He does. And then handballs, that's leg towards the end. Gets a hand pass out to the boundary line. Picked up by Spilsbury. He runs the ball over the line and out of bounds for another throw in. Gee, George, we'll have to put the admission fee up in future. $6 gets you into a grand final. If they haven't had their money's worth, they're very hard people to contend with. 3 great games of footy. Bebbington takes the crumbs off the pack. Socket by Michalak out to the boundary line. And over the line and out of bounds once again.
Yep, I'd say that it's that close that time now will just keep that margin.
Blair Carter rises high over the pack, takes the ball clean. He comes down to Beckett. And the ball can't be controlled by that player and runs over the line for yet another throw in. Well, it's unfortunate there has to be a loser in these types of games, but there has to be, I suppose. That's the nature of the game. The ball's thrown in over on the far side. Again, it's thumped by Fontana, thumped back by Brockman, and the ball once again rolls over the line and out of bounds for yet another throw in right in the same spot we had before. In it comes Fontana and Griffiths. Griffiths takes it cleanly and gets it onto his boot. Bebbington breaks the tackle. Great hand pass over towards Marley. Marley gets it up towards the wing. And Swan in front takes the mark or gets ridden into the back by his opponent in Harris, and he'll take a free kick.
Now this is interesting. Mines are on the way up, Ray. It's interesting. They have to score to stay with it.
More importantly, I think they have to get a goal. I don't think they've got the energy to get 2. The ball comes down Busselton's favour to the run of Jock Embry. Great second half by Embry. He kicks it long, 55 metres, up towards Mines Rovers, 2-on-1. Cook takes the ball, gets a great hand pass over to Vaughan Carter. He runs into an open goal, and going by the crowd, that could be the sealer. It's goal number 11 to Busselton. 11 goals, 9, 75. Mines Rovers, 9 goals, 12, 66, and that's a 9-point advantage.
Well, Ray, it's looking distinctly like Busselton's. Who knows what time's left? I haven't checked, but, you know, the game has been splendid all the way through. I think both sides are deserving. But then again, as you said earlier, one has to win it, one has to lose it. That's the nature of the beast.
Well, what a heart stopper. 9 points the difference. 27-minute mark of the quarter. Mines kicked 2 goals in quick succession earlier in the game. Can they lift to do it again? The big man Fontana's in the middle with his skipper Sherwood. He's got Lucas Ramshaw as support along with, and they've only got 3 in the square. Okay, here we go again. Miller decides to take it cleanly from the ruck. Busselton have got the run of the footy through Maxwell. He kicks it down to the chest of Griffiths. Griffiths goes short over towards Noel Mackay. He's about 40 metres out. Will kick from about 45. And the run in the legs of Busselton could just about be enough. He's gone short to Griffiths, and he's only probably the same distance out of goal, but dead in front and probably a longer kick. Well, he opened the game in sensational fashion, took some screamers in the first quarter, went to kick some good goals. He's kicked 3, hasn't done a lot besides that, but this could be a very, very important kick, and I would say would be the sealer irrespective.
Well, he opened the game with a goal, Ray. He's going to finish the game with a goal. He's capable of it from there. So we'll wait and see. And yes, he does.
Busselton, 12 goals, 981. Mine Rovers, 9 goals, 12, 66. And you can see the jubilation in the play in the Busselton forward line.
This is a lousy feeling for the side that's behind. You know, time's left, not a lot of time, but you've given it away in a sense.
Scrambled forward by that man Embry once again, up to Laputi. He takes it one hand pass over to the run of Tooby. Tooby has a bounce, runs inside 50. This could be another one to the Busselton side. It's faded across to the left-hand side as we look at it. One behind only. 12 goals, 10, 82 Busselton. 9 goals, 12, 66 Mines. As we're getting to the dying stages of what has been a great grand final, as in a spectator getting involved with one of the players. Not much we can do in those situations.
No, we can't. It's just people, exuberance and emotion. Mines have worked hard all day long, and Busselton have too. Just as will happen sometimes, one side will just make 2 or 3 goals in a big hurry. It's looked like it's happening with Busselton.
Yeah, well, they've kicked the last 3. The ball comes into play from Fair. Out to Fontana. He runs towards the board, grabs it with the first grab, which has been unusual on some occasions for some players today. They're running back in front of the goal. Rinder goes short to Bebbington. Just goes over his head. Danger station here for Mines Rovers. Bebbington equal to the charge. He takes the ball out in front of him along the ground. He's fumbling it, misses it once, twice. He's dropped it again. He's tired. Finally gets up, looks for the hand pass, gets it over towards Lucas Ramshaw. Ramshaw's going to run down through the middle. He's got a chip shot in towards Brockman, slips at the wrong time, gets a hand pass out towards Milner. Then the ball comes down to centre half forward. He's looking behind play. Someone's on the ground, not to him. McKay picks the ball up and goes towards an open goal, and he's drilled another one to the Busselton side.
Player down on the other side.
Looks like Tooby.
Tooby, is it? Yeah.
22 points. Well, you wouldn't think so after, was it 25-minute mark? There's only 3 points of difference, and Busselton have ran away with this game with the last 4 goals in very quick time.
Well, Ray, with the game having been that tight, it was just a matter of time, I suppose, that if one side just got 1 or 2 goals, you know, it was just enough then to bring their petrol up and get another 1 or 2 as well.
Yes, well, I suppose we can say commiserations to Mines Rovers at this stage. It's a 31-minute time. There's no way in the wide world they can come back from here, but geez, they've been gallant in defeat.
They've done the game proud, definitely. They've put in and matched it up with Busselton real well.
Here we go in the dying stages. The last knock is won by Miller. Comes down to Ramshaw, gets a left foot towards Hayden. Hayden runs around onto his left foot. Handballs to Milner. He's a left footer also. Feeds the pass out, the hand pass out to Rattray. Rattray gets a kick down towards half forward, and Harry Carter takes another good mark, this time on his chest.
Well, he's a fitting example of a Hayward medal winner, you know, a family of footballers. They've done it well. He's done it especially well today.
Down towards Cook. Cook and Fair. Down towards McKay, takes the crumbs, and Barrett takes him out of play and over the line and out of bounds for yet another throw in. 32-minute mark of the quarter. Cook goes up and takes the ball cleanly. He's grabbed by Fontana. The ball comes out to Panetta. He's grabbed, and we'll have a bounce down on the half-forward flank towards the pocket for Busselton.
Yeah, well, Busselton have been waiting since 78. You could say nearly the same as 79 for Mines, and both teams have put up a good exhibition. I'm sure the crowd's got to be happy.
Oh, in goes Vinnie Panetta. He's gone across the top of the shoulders of Vaughan Carter.
Mines Lions sadly have come to a bit of a stop in the game, Ray, but they've probably sensed it at about the 28-minute mark that it was all over bar the shouting. It's a shame in a way that... Yeah, well, now we see one side jumping up and down and flinging arms and being happy, the other side very downcast, hands on knees, squatting, separate of one another. They haven't come together yet. Busselton are running in, the old thing, you know, the 1, 2, 3 when you do win it. The Busselton bench there is static. They've hung in. Housey's won himself another grand final. Away we go. 1996 out of the way, and already we're thinking 97.
Yeah, that's the way it goes. George, we've got to think about what's happening from there. The umpires are getting a wonderful applause from Busselton, not so much from Mines Rovers, and that's to be expected given that Busselton won the game. Well, exuberant scenes for Busselton's supporters and players. Terry House is the master coach, has led another club to a premiership. That makes number 5, I think. 2 early days with Harvey Brunswick, another 2 in the early 90s, and now 1 with Busselton. Russell Sparks, well, what more can you say? He took his side as minor premiers, lost 1 in 18, lost the second semi, was good enough to come out in the preliminary final, and after that they've gone down, but by as I said just a minute ago, they were gallant in defeat, and they deserve all the credit that can be thrown on their shoulders because they were a great side anyway.
Well, Ray, it's a little bit like you said 5 minutes ago. It's a pity that one side has to lose it. We weren't that sure who it was going to be, although it was looking mighty like Mines Rovers to go down. You can't bring it back. You can't make it any better for Mines Rovers. All you can say to them is that they put up a good show on the day. That's the sort of stuff that the spectators like. And, I mean, they can be unhappy for a day or two, but look back on the season, as you say, minor premiers, that's not bad.
Well, goal scorers, before we close off, for Busselton, the winning side, Rodney Griffiths, 4 great goals. All great goals, I suppose they're all great in the grand final, aren't they? Mark Harris kicked 2, Noel McKay 2 after half-time, Vaughan Carter 2 and Justin Cook 2. Singles to Peter Beckett, Mark Maxwell. For Mines Rovers, Jason Mummy never had a lot of the ball in the forward line, but he was very effective when he had it. He kicked 3. Bomber Sherwood for the captain 2, and singles to Rinda, Spilsbury, Antonovich and Broadbent. My better players, George, on the day, just without any particular order, running through the book. Tuvey played a good second half, wasn't sided in the first half, but ran onto his left foot far too many times, but still he was effective in the second half when it got down. Hayden was a good defender. Lapidi was in and out of the game. Harris early didn't do a lot and probably wouldn't feature in their best 6, but he was still handy. Paul Milner spent some time on the bench. Brett Milner led from by example as skipper. Mark Maxwell was good on his wing. Noel McKay added some legs in the second half. Blair Carter was close to their best man on the ground, I think. Had a blinder in the second quarter. Vaughan Carter did some good things after coming off the bench. Rodney Griffiths was always dangerous and took a good player to watch him. Excuse me. Justin Cook, again, didn't do a lot, but when the crumbs were down, he was there to kick 2 vital goals. And Michael Miller and Haley both did some good things in the ruck. For Mines Rovers, well, you couldn't go past Bradley Barrett. For mine, his best man on the ground by a streak. No matter where the ball was or what he had to do, he was there. He ran from the back line to the forward line. He was always there for the kick out of defence. He was always there chopping off the other kicks from Busselton, and a grand game by him, and he'll be obviously bitterly disappointed. Bomber Sherwood was a great captain. Again, he led by example and through no fault of his own. The 3 Marleys were also good players. Vinnie Panetta, terrific on a half-back flank. Brent Swan, unfortunately, had a quiet day. Paul Bebbington had his moments, but stood up and tall in defence when was needed. Rinda probably wouldn't have had what he would call a good game. He would be ruining the day he had. Spilsbury was fairly quiet most of the time. Antonovich did some good things. Fontana was the rock of Gibraltar in the ruck. He led by example also as a vice-captain, and he won probably the ruck hands down. And Broadbent on occasions was good in attack, and Ramshaw offered some legs around the ground.
Ray, good calling. I feel that Mines are going to suffer the ride home. You know, it's an uncomfortable business when you leave the ground. You know that the reality of it has set in, but they've done good things on the season. Busselton too, you know, led well by Terry House again. The management side of the business stuck by it. Last year was a bit wobbly when they finished in the prelim final. At the same time, you know, it's teams 1 plays team 2, and only one can win it, and really Busselton in the end just had some breaks, I think. I think Mines Rovers really thought that they might have wrapped it up with 5 minutes, 7 minutes, whatever amount of time it was. It's just one of those things that on such a lovely day, we've got the winners and they've deserved it because they've broken away in the last 5. But I really think that Mines had put it away then, and there wasn't much that they could do at that final stage.
Well,
Busselton just had been there before, and maybe their earnest was a little bit more enthusiastic. Maybe they were a bit more determined through the real hard slog of the final quarter. And I suppose if you look at what Busselton did last year, you know, I mean, they are fitting winners. Although Mines Rovers have had a good year this year. But to be in 5 and not win one, well, that's sad too. But then again, I've got my problems, and I know what it's like at this level, and it's hard to take when you haven't finished.
Yeah, I was just about to say, George, you know what it's like to be the vanquished out there, but on the other hand, they say you've got to lose one to win one, but that didn't happen with you guys, but you near on got there. You're only a few kicks away from another appearance in the grand final, but perhaps this side from Mines, where they can hold it together again for another tilt next year, remains to be seen. But as is always the case in a grand final, all accolades to the winners, commiserations to the losers, and I can't stay to find out who the Pike medalist is because I've got radio commitments.
Okay, Ray, do you want me to maybe set it off? Okay, well done, Ray. Yeah, crowds gathering now for the presentations. We're just waiting on hearing who the award winners are. Coca-Cola.
And George, I'm just going through my book for the best players, and I noticed I missed Jock Embry in that mention. Somebody would be knocking my head off if I don't come back and mention that Jock was obviously offered all the run in the second half after going on the ball after half time.
Good work, Ray.
And the winner racing, boys. I've got some really good friends in the team, and I feel for you. But that's the way it goes. And today's 22 blokes in Busselton. What can I say? Angela, good morning. Thank you very much.
To conclude the presentation, we'd now like to present the Premiership Medal to the playing members of the Busselton.